overall, but 0-4 in the ACC. They just
that's right.
They seem a little stuck in mud.
It was shaping out to be a bounce back year for him.
Yeah,
like the last time he was going to get fired, I think they won 10 games.
Yeah,
it looked like he was about to do that again, and then all of a sudden it hasn't happened.
I assume Central Florida fans are okay with Gus. I assume.
I don't know,
but I mean, signed a new contract. Remember back in the summer.
I mean, but if you're a Central Florida fan, wouldn't you rather have an up and coming coach?
Yeah, I mean,
you kind of know what you're getting from Gus Malzahn.
Well, I mean, what a disastrous entrance into this Big 12 for them, and they've lost. They've done it every way. They've had games they should have won that they blew the lead. They've gotten beaten pretty badly. I mean, they've done it every way now. And they've lost close, tight games at Oklahoma where you're like, man, they could have won that game.
But Dana Holgerson's entry has been worse.
I think he's out. I mean, they're 3-5, 1-4 in conference. And you know their fans thought they were going in to be the next Texas.
And their best chance was, almost beating Texas a few days ago, right?
Yeah, you know, and it's just been a weird year because they went on a Hail Mary. They almost beat Texas. So they've been back and forth. If I kind of like Dana Holgerson, but I kind of would want some new blood if I was Houston.
And I'll give you another one. I don't know that Arkansas wins another conference game this year. Or wins a conference game this year, I guess is the way I need to word that.
Still don't think they'll fire him this year.
That puts them back at 0-8 in the league.
0-8 in the league.
Which is bad.
And if they beat FIU at home, 3-9 overall.
I think he would go in with the hottest of hot seats next year if Jimbo is not already fired.
Yeah, if Jimbo's still around, his seat might be hotter, but Sam Pittman's is going to be marginally less.
Do you guys believe that Neil Brown has survived?
Let me see what they've got left.
So they're 5-3 right now. Yeah. They're coming off a win against Central Florida.
Home primetime BYU this week. One of the newcomers they're supposed to beat.
I think their season looks completely different if they don't lose on that walk-off to Houston because they're sitting at 6-2.
No doubt, but he closes with Cincinnati and at Baylor, which are very winnable games, and they're at Oklahoma. If he can find a way to beat BYU, I think most fans look at a loss at Oklahoma and say, okay.
I think they went 2-4, so I think they
beat BYU. They're bowl eligible this week, right?
Yep, and you're 8-4, and then you would finish, 5-3 in conference?
I think 8-4 is good enough.
I think I get you in.
I think 7-5 he might be okay, depending if they've got somebody that they've been eyeballing and they just want to make a change. But I think 8-4 would definitely.
Are you
keep
off? You were on Tony Elliott for a little bit. Are you off Tony Elliott now at 2-6?
I mean, what he's been able to do in the back-to-back weeks. I mean, it's been kind of shocking.
Yeah, they got Georgia Tech this week. Two resurgent teams playing one another. You made it your sneaky good game.
Avalos, Boise State. That program got used to winning a lot.
Boy, they are just so off the radar right now.
On the road at Fresno State this week, likely loss.
Yeah. Still got Air Force coming up, loss. So how bad could it get for
Well,
Avalos?
they're 4-4, Lance, 3-1 in conference. Here's the rest of their schedule. At Fresno,
loss.
Versus New Mexico.
Win.
At Utah State.
Win.
And Air Force.
Loss.
So that makes you, I gave you 2 right there.
6-6?
Yeah.
Oof.
That makes you 6-6, and in conference you would have a winning record, but
I mean, that's almost where they are in their space, almost like Clemson 6-6.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way.
Guys that won't get fired, that it'll be interesting to see what happens in the offseason. Mac Brown at North Carolina.
Well, it has been very disappointing.
Yeah, but he can name his departure date, which I think will be after this year, after Drake May takes up, because then you got an unknown.
That's right. And you had a Heisman caliber quarterback. You fought like heck to get your receiver, who's an All-American level receiver, back, and that's when you started to fall apart.
Well, all you had to do in these 2 games, I mean, heartbreaking loss to Virginia, heartbreaking loss to Georgia Tech, by a combined 8 points. You win those 2 games, you're undefeated. You're close to the top 5 right now.
And you're so much better than those 2 teams.
I think they would have been number 6 in last night's rankings over Oregon, just because they were undefeated.
Yeah, because they were undefeated. All right, that's the show today. Tomorrow is Bud Light game night, so we'll be excited about being at the Battery. Before that, we're back with you at 9 a.m. Central Time. We got a overtime coming up now. I'm going to guess, is it the new round table?
No. It's still
Elephant in the Room.
Elephant in the Room.
How about that? We get a little Elephant in the Room coming up with Mick Gillespie and Jake Coker. Love that show, and it starts at the top of the hour. You don't even have to change anything or click on another link. It's about to pop up. We're back with you live tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Time. Until next time, God bless you, and God bless America.
Follow Sean Lunsford on Twitter @JLuntz. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Man, we got so much to get to today, including Roman Harper, who's in the next segment. Spin the wheel on where you think Roman Harper will be today. I've already put my bet in either a car dealership or, God, what was the other thing I suggested? Car dealership.
You said blood bank.
Or blood bank,
Was
yeah.
he donating blood?
Blood bank, it's November. It's National Donate Blood Month.
I'll do dental chair.
Dental chair for
Ooh,
you.
that's going to be a rough interview. We've never had that one. Barber chair we've had. He
They
can do
still
that.
try to talk to you while you have your mouth
They
open.
really do, yes.
Yeah. Where will Hart be today? It's almost like the old Matt Lauer without the sexual harassment segment back on the Today Show in the 90s, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Have you seen him lately?
I have not. That's Lance Taylor. That is Ryan Brown. Rockstar is back with us today after a day of sleep. Is that what you were telling me?
Amazing. My wife had to go to Nashville for a photo shoot for the night, and Bethany offered to have Cord stay with her. And I said, well, if that happens, we're getting about 2.5, 3 hours of sleep a night, I'm going to take a day and just not do jack shite.
So just a day of sleep.
Just a day of nothing. And the best part was, I was telling Scott this, we had talked about this for about 5 to 6 days, my wife and I. 7:30, my phone rings. It's my wife. I go, oh no, something's going on. I answer it. Hey, what are you doing?
I was asleep.
Come on.
I'm in bed.
That is
You're
horrible.
not at work? Nancy, we talked about this. Oh my, I'm so sorry. Well, I'm just on my way to the photo shoot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did I wake you up?
Yeah,
I
you
hate
did.
those. Yeah.
Yeah,
you
and
did wake me up.
So she apologized profusely for that, but it was fantastic. Did not do anything.
Tyler's back. Forrester's back. And we got Taylor Corn out handling everything social media today. Let's start with, we lost a legend yesterday in coaching, Bob Knight. And over the years, I forget who liked Bob Knight, who didn't like Bob Knight on the show. I think we got bad Bob Knight at the end of our show. We've been together, 14 years now? And there were some bad Bob Knight times during the course of our show. Obviously, the guy could coach basketball. I didn't know how young he was when he started coaching. He was 24 when he got the Army job. And he was, I think, 35 when they won the national championship. Maybe 34 or 35 when they won the national championship without losing a game, 32-0 in 1976. I saw Jeff Goodman said there are only 4 Division I coaches this year that will be younger than when Bobby Knight threw down the perfect season at Indiana. He always, I guess because I was young, he always looked old to me.
Well, he always looked old to me. By the time he was 45, he had 3 national championships, which
How about
is
that?
beyond impressive. I always respected Bobby Knight. I think he was a complete dick, complete bully. Today's, it just wouldn't work. I don't think Bobby Knight would make it a practice with today's athlete.
I actually read a story at The Athletic that basically said Bobby Knight came along at the perfect time. You could not imagine him coaching in today's NIL world, transfer portal world, or HR world. Which you
I don't know. I assume it's a national guy that will be on the show on Hey Coach with Nick Saban tonight. But I think Bobby Knight would be a fascinating question to ask him. Because I think Saban's done it both ways. Maybe not to the extreme of Bobby Knight, but Saban we know has had some stern moments. Yeah. And just to ask him how Bobby Knight would translate to today's athlete.
Yeah, I think he was a complicated guy, Bobby Knight, because there was that side of him that I did not like. But then you could see an entirely different side of the guy that you're like, God, I love that side of him. You love the way he demanded a lot out of his players, and he didn't take any BS off of them. Who was, outside of Isaiah Thomas, who was his really good NBA player he coached?
That's the only one that ended up being an NBA All-Star.
Exactly. I don't even know who the next best one was.
Was Clark Kellogg good? Was he an Indiana player?
Yes.
I like him as a broadcaster. I like him as a person.
He played at Ohio State, didn't he?
Oh, did he?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, maybe so. So not Clark Kellogg.
Yes, I am.
It wasn't Pat Knight.
But so there was a lot to like about that. I think he ran a program in those terms the way you would want a program run. Now there were some rough edges too. You can't ignore that. But my favorite Bobby Knight story, and to me this shows you how complicated the guy is, because he could do a lot of things where you're like, God, why would you do that? I just can't stand that type of behavior. And then he would do this. So 1972 U.S. Olympic team got robbed of the gold medal. And I'm not talking like, for those of you that don't know the history of it, I'm not talking like SEC football fans saying the refs don't call anything. I'm talking legitimately 100% got robbed of the gold medal.
Yeah, for those that don't remember it, it was a clock issue.
Yeah, no replay back then. Doug Collins was involved.
Yep.
And they gave the Russians another chance to throw it in again.
That's right, yeah.
Or maybe even two more chances.
I think 2 more chances till they finally scored. Robbed to the point that the U.S. men, which I've always respected, would not even show up to the medal ceremony and take their silver medals.
Did not take their silver medals.
Not one person for that team took the silver medal.
They're somewhere in the world, the silver medals.
I think they're in a vault in Switzerland or something like
Maybe.
that. The head coach of that team was legendary Oklahoma State coach Henry Iba. And apparently Henry Iba was going to take that to his grave, that he was the coach that got robbed, and he second-guessed himself. I think he got some media criticism for some of the coaching. I don't know. But apparently, as much success as he had at Oklahoma State, to the point they named the arena after him, that was something that always plagued him. So fast forward 12 years, 1984 Olympic Games, Bob Knight is the U.S. men's Olympic coach, and he asked Hank Iba to be an assistant, and incidentally Mike Krzyzewski as well, to be an assistant. And the United States won the gold and beat Spain, and at the end of the game, the players came over and they were going to pick Bobby Knight up and carry him off the court, and he stopped them and said, "You carry Coach Iba off."
Yeah, love that.
I mean, how awesome is that?
Love
he
that.
stopped him. He's like, Coach Iba never got to celebrate it. He's going to celebrate this when you carry Coach Iba off. So he stops his players. They go over to the bench. They pick Hank Iba up, 80 years old at the time, and carry him off the court. So that's the conflicting guy he was. Like, he did stuff like that showed you he had a heart.
Right.
And there were times you wondered if he did.
And he was a
showed you-
patriot.
Yeah.
Loved the country.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, but didn't he shoot his neighbor too?
He shot future.
There was a lot with Bob Knight. man.
I'll tell you the funniest thing I ever saw, and this was back, and I'll never forget where I was. I was in Gainesville for Alabama when they beat Florida 40-39. And a buddy of mine pulled out the old Golfing with Bobby Knight.
Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Hitting out of the bunker?
The outtakes,
Yeah.
and I forgot who the dude was that did it with him every week. It was a weekly show in Bloomington area,
I think
Indiana.
it was just the local club pro, yeah.
And he would cuss and throw clubs,
Yep.
and it was some of the best video I've ever seen.
Well, the F word was his favorite word, and he says there's no other word in the English language that can be used so many different ways. And he went on the video, explained it can be used for joy or anger,
Yeah.
and all the different ways you can use it. It was his favorite word. And
The effing effer.
Yeah, it was crazy. He was a mean guy too, like Joe B. Hall. He said once something about his bowels being on fire, and I wouldn't piss on him if his bowels were on fire.
I mean, again, he's a complicated guy. Like, there's a lot of good you could point out, and then there were the obvious warts that every.
Yeah, I think Quinn Buckner is the guy we got confused
Quinn
with.
Buckner, not
Buckner,
Clark Keller.
Yeah. Steve Alford as well, but none of those guys turned into great NBA
Yeah,
players.
I mean, Isaiah Thomas is really the only one I could think of. Mike Woodson has coached some in the NBA, but
Darvin Ham is a current coach for the Los Angeles Lakers.
I mean, he's
Texas
got
Tech guy.
Yeah, I mean, but he did all of that without just the star player. I mean, he probably could not survive in today's age of the transfer portal. It would drive him crazy.
Now, his coaching tree, this is interesting. So, Krzyzewski, obviously.
Right.
Chris Beard is, I don't know what the relation is. It says he's
But
part of the coaching.
He's in the tree.
Was Beard not with him at Texas Tech, maybe?
Potentially.
Maybe.
That could be it.
Murray Bartow, Steve Alford,
Yep.
Dan Dakich, Marty Simmons, Isaiah Thomas, not good.
Yeah.
Lawrence Frank, who had a good minute in the NBA.
He did.
But you know what this is becoming? This is what we did with Saban yesterday. You look at it, and I can find one really good
Yeah,
one.
it's tough.
And then there are a lot of other ones where you're like, God, do I give him credit for that? And there's a lot of bad. It's wild how these great coaches sometimes struggle to have a flourishing coaching tree.
He was the last U.S. Olympic coach to win with an all-college team, 1984, the gold medal. 88, we didn't win it. 92, we brought the dream team to
in.
get it back. So he did a lot. It was
And the influence. I mean, you think about movies like Blue Chips,
Hoosiers came out before 87.
Well, I mean, Hoosiers, Gene Hackman's character was basically a nice kind of
a high school Bob Knight.
Yeah, a more controlled Bob Knight.
Yeah, a guy that had lost his college job because of an incident. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of coaches, with their anger that they show in practices and during games, during my time of growing up, were patterned after Bob Knight. They felt like you had to argue with officials and be upset and yell and scream a lot if you were going to be good. And I think he influenced a lot of people, not always in a positive way. One of his better quotes was, and he said he struggled with this too, "Don't hunt the rabbits. It's the elephants that are going to kill you. Don't worry about the little things.
Yeah.
The big things are going to get you."
Yeah.
And he said, I'm always worried about the rabbits too. I tell my players not to worry about the rabbits. The elephants are going to kill you. But he goes, I worry about the rabbits too. Motion offense. That's a Bobby Knight thing.
Oh yeah.
When we all learned how to play basketball, even at my age, and you guys are younger than me, the one offense they taught you was the motion offense.
Everybody, any idiot could run it, right? Yeah. So hold up to two. We're going to run the motion.
Motion offense. And we dribble down YMCA. Motion offense.
And
motion
much like Mike Krzyzewski now, if he had to play zone, he hated to play zone defense, man.
Who wouldn't?
Man,
Jim Boeheim. Jim Boeheim loved it.
Pretty amazing. I don't know how many years this is he coached. It was a long time, from Army to Indiana to Texas Tech. But how many losing seasons do you think he had overall?
God, I feel like the year I lost my Toyota Tercel was one.
Weren't they laying a ton of points to Kansas? Getting a ton of points from Kansas at home?
At home on a Sunday national TV game.
Yeah, I want to say this is right around 30 years.
Okay, I would say out of 30 years, he had 6 losing seasons.
2.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, one at Texas Tech at 15-17 in his final year at Army. He never had a losing season in Indiana.
How about that?
Yeah. Did he go to the NIT in the 90s, late 90s in Indiana? Something like 16-14, 17-14.
How about this? So from winning, so from 85 all the way until his final year, he went to the NCAA tournament every year.
Every year.
So that was 16 straight years.
Yeah.
I just remembered him always blowing up after they'd lose in the NCAA tournament. The guy who would always, the NCAA tournament representative who would always run the news conferences. And Bobby Knight would just blow up in those news conferences. And I
remember pounding. Remember,
yes.
He brought a whip out. How quick would he be canceled with a whip?
That was a pregame. Brought the whip out, and he was draining the blood out of it. You remember that?
Yeah. By the way, Bobby Knight was the guy who cut Barkley off the Olympic team. Called him chunky. I think.
Yep.
Called him fat. Sort of changed Barkley's trajectory. I think Barkley used that as a motivational tool to go on to the NBA. Bobby Knight dead at the age of 83. And some people, not all people, are upset about losing an icon, a guy who won 3 national championships and went to 5 Final Fours. We'll get to our football and reaction to the World Series as the show is being brought to you today by our friends at A+. I do understand that from our chat room some audio issues on the audio streams. Lunsford is working on those. Those are back up now.
We're back up. We're
up now. Appreciate all you guys commenting in the chat room and for knowing that if it's not working on your audio stream, to come to us on YouTube. Which we always appreciate. We appreciate the thumbs up and all of that. Thank you. Like, subscribe, and thumbs up wherever you are. Tell us about A+. You give them a thumbs up.
I give them a thumbs up because they changed our master bath. Listen, master bath and kitchen, that's where you're going to make your money back when you go to sell your home. If you do some remodeling, the group there at A+ Tile Home Remodeling, Brad Bell, they do a tremendous job with that. That is their specialty, master bath and kitchen. In fact, I talked to Brad just yesterday. Sounds like an old Dunaway spot, but it is true. I talked to Brad just yesterday. One of the members of the audience reached out for his number. I was giving Brad a heads up. I was giving his number out. And they just talking to his team there, man. They are so appreciative of what the Next Round family has done. They've heard from so many of you, and everybody is so pleased. I get so much feedback here. If you're looking to redo your master bath or your kitchen, there is only one name you need to know. And I'm telling you, my wife scoured the internet looking for it. She found Brad Bell. 205-422-1758. That is 205-422-1758. He did my bathroom. He did Lance's bathroom. And mine was lighter to dark. Lance's darker to light. That just shows you he's not some cookie cutter guy that's only going to do it one way, slap it up and get out of there. He's doing it to your specs. Master Bath and Kitchen, A+ Tile Home Remodeling, 205-422-1758. That's 205-422-1758 for Brad Bell, A+ Tile Home Remodeling.
All right, you can't on the day Bob Knight passes, you cannot not play this clip. Here is Bob Knight back in his Indiana days.
When my time on earth is gone and my activities here are past, I want they bury me upside down and my critics can kiss my ass.
Bobby Knight being honored back in the day. A good day.
It's Bobby Knight Day.
And he got a standing ovation.
Of course.
I will tell you, the last time we saw him was in 2020 when they brought him out during the Purdue-Indiana game. And, you could tell the emotions, but it wasn't Bobby Knight. It wasn't the Bobby Knight we remember.
Indiana will wear, it was a broken relationship there at one point. He had moved back to Bloomington in his home. That's where he passed with his family. Indiana's men's and women's team will wear Bobby Knight memorial patches throughout the course of this season.
As well they should.
And this Indiana team should be pretty good, so it's very interesting. World Series last night. Texas finally wins a World Series. The Rangers win in 5 games against the Arizona Diamondbacks. And a couple of just amazing things come out of that series. You can call it boring if you want. A lot of people didn't watch it. Games 2 and 3 were the least watched World Series games in history. But this Rangers team, start with Bruce Bochy, LT, 3 World Championships with the Giants, where I don't think they were ever considered going into the season to be the best team in baseball. And he sort of willed them to World Championships. And now he's done it. He's one of only 6 managers to have 4 or more World Championships. He's in a class by himself, and he's done it the old-fashioned way. I mean, he did it in the first year with this Texas Rangers team.
Yeah, look, the only guys I would put in the category, at least from when I don't remember the Connie Macks of the world, but guys that I actually saw manage Sparky Anderson, not the Big Red days, but his Detroit Tigers, Joe Torre. I think you've got to put Tony La Russa in there, and Bruce Bochy. Those are the 4 best that I ever saw.
Sparky Anderson for me with the Big Red Machine, and didn't he win with the Tigers too?
Tigers
70s
1984.
And the 80s? So for me, I'm a little older, so I throw Sparky Anderson into
No, I said Sparky Anderson.
Oh, you did? Okay,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's first what I said. So I would say Sparky Anderson, Tony La Russa, Joe Torre, and Bruce Bochy.
Okay.
Bruce Bochy seemed to do it, and I know the Rangers spent a lot of money in this offseason, but seemed to do it with a little bit less, and he seemed to do it at more places. I mean, this is a guy, as bad as the San Diego Padres organization is, he took him to the World Series twice. Or no, just once. Not 84. He wasn't there then. Dick Williams. So he took them in 1998, 97, 98.
Yeah, really amazing from Bruce Bochy. Then there's Corey Seager, who becomes he and Reggie Jackson have sort of remarkable like seasons as Mr. October. He and Jackson's numbers almost identical the year Reggie Jackson became Mr. October with his World Series MVP with the Yankees. And now Corey Seager becomes the second player, joining Reggie Jackson to be World Series MVPs with 2 different teams.
Something tells me we will not remember Corey Seager as fondly as Reggie Jackson, I guess.
Maybe.
Still a great player.
Yeah. I mean, baseball's not as important now as it was. Right?
Yeah, Reggie Jackson's still in commercials today.
I still think, though, when you look at the better overall player, Corey Seager.
Oh, it probably is.
Yeah.
I'm just saying Reggie Jackson was in Naked Gun. I mean, the guy was acting in
He had
movies.
a candy bar named after him.
Yeah, so I think Reggie's probably going to be more fondly remembered, but anytime you're mentioned in World Series terms with Reggie Jackson, you've had a pretty good World Series.
Baseball is just so strange. Coming into this World Series, I heard guys talking about it afterwards. It shouldn't be any surprise. This is a team that really won their division, but they didn't because the Astros won it on the final day of the season.
That's right.
But this is a team, if you go back to the end of the season, they lost 8 straight games in the middle of August. They lost 6 of 7 to begin the month of September. So it was a team that wasn't playing their best baseball until they rolled into the postseason.
Yeah, 11 straight road wins and 16 straight with a home run. And we've got the betting odds for next year.
Oh, I bet I can guess who your favorite is.
After I tell you about our friends at Wayne's, the holiday season's here. Give the gift of peace and security to your home and family with $50 off the recurring Wayne's Pest Control services. Keep your celebrations joyful and free of unwanted critters this holiday and beyond. At Wayne's Pest Control, they don't just promise short-term fixes. They promise year-round protection for your home, keeping your family, children, and pets safe. $50 off those recurring Wayne's Pest Control services right now when you call them up, 866-WAYNES-1, 866-WAYNES-1, or go to callwaynes.com. Callwaynes.com. right there. We had a little mouse in our garage the other night.
Jim.
Had to call our friends at Wayne's to come take that critter out right there. The Atlanta Braves, is that your guess?
Yeah, the Atlanta Braves would be your favorite. There is no doubt they were the best regular season team this year. It looks like they're going to keep that nucleus together. Think I would say, though, 9 out of 10 years, if you're the favorite in Major League Baseball, you ain't going to win it.
13 to 2 odds as favorites, followed by the Dodgers and the Astros.
Now, the Dodgers, it will flip. The Dodgers, if Ohtani signs with the Dodgers in the offseason, that will 1,000% flip, and the Dodgers will become your favorites.
I was about to say, everyone who puts out odds today says these are the odds until Ohtani commits to a team, and his team likely will become the favorite. Anywhere from the Yankees up on the betting board Ohtani will push them to being the betting favorite.
Yeah, I think even the Mariners, if he was to sign with Seattle and they're kind of that wild card that's hanging out there, I think Seattle would be in the mix to be one of your favorites.
Okay, since we probably will not get back to baseball, Roman Harper on the other side, there are now 5 franchises that have never won a World Series. The Rangers was one of 6, so it's down to 5. Can you name them?
Padres, Rockies.
Correct. You just mentioned them.
The Mariners?
The Mariners.
Did the Indians finally win one?
Yeah.
They did a long time.
So they won one. They haven't won one since then.
They have, of the ones that have won it, they have the longest
gotcha.
drought. 2 others. One's confusing because that city won one with a different team. The Milwaukee Braves won it, but the
Brewers have
never won it.
Yeah, and then your other is going to be
really obvious. Sitting right next
your
to
Tampa Bay Rays.
The Tampa Bay Rays, who have been to the playoffs in 9 of the last 16 years in 2 World Series.
You'll get one eventually.
Been closer than most, but those are the ones that have not won the World Series. Roman Harper coming up on the other side. A lot of football to get to. In the chat room, no, I did not win my MyBookie.ag parlays. I had the Diamondbacks in the under. The game did play under. And I had a no-hitter going through 6. I was setting up pretty good to win the game on the under. More heartbreaking was the Kent State and the over that I had as a parlay last night. Kent State controlled that game.
We talked about you at dinner last night.
Kent State was controlling that game.
I'm
watching
parlay.
that, and here comes Akron.
Yep.
Backdoor win, and the over it hit. But in a parlay, you got to hit everything. I had the sides right.
Yeah, we had the Rangers
right.
last night.
Good win by you.
5-1 on the week for LancesLock.com.
LancesLock.com. Tell us about Simpio, and we'll get to Roman Harper on the other side.
Yeah, again, one of the first phone calls we made here was to Blake Patterson and the fine folks at Simpio because they handle things that we knew nothing about. They're going to handle the 4 pillars in every single office. That is HR, that is compliance, that is payroll, that is benefits. Simpio does it all. And again, you need to go online for more information on the fine folks at Simpio. You can call today, 205-635-7467, or Simpio.com. You can join Simpio any time of year, no annual contract. With that being said, they've got a 99% retention rate. Call today, 205-635-7467, or Simpio.com.
Our Monday morning quarterback is Fox Sports' Joel Klatt. Every Monday at 10:25.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
What are you waiting for? It's non-stop gaming action at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Come play more than 900 of the latest and greatest games around, featuring fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can wager and win on horse and greyhound races from all over the world. There are more ways to win at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older.
The wait is over. Tonale has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonale plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonale offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tenali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tenali.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at New Life Art. Daniel A. Moore has completed his original full-color oil painting honoring Bryce Young, Alabama's 4th Heisman Trophy winner. This painting depicts the memorable Heisman-worthy go-ahead pinpoint pass to John Mechie in the corner of the end zone as the Tide dismantled the vaunted Georgia defense in the SEC championship game this past year. Use code TNR for 15% off. You can order online at danielmooreart.com. Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com. That's nextroundlive.com.
Hi, this is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. You're not average, and the New Balance Birmingham store has the shoes and apparel to perfectly match your unaverage self. If we were all shaped the same and had the same level of fitness, and if we all walked and ran exactly alike, well, then I guess an average shoe store selling average shoes would be just fine. But you deserve better. At the New Balance Birmingham store, our specialists will match you with a custom pair of New Balance shoes that fit you perfectly. Come see us at the New Balance Birmingham store. Your feet will thank you.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Where in the world is Roman Harper? It's become our favorite segment. Let's talk football with the SEC Network ESPN analyst.
I'm guessing airport parking lot heading to a plane. He's presented each week by mybookie.ag code next round. Mybookie.ag code next round. What is up, Harp? How are you?
What's up, guys? Actually, I just landed back at the airport, coming back from Mobile, Alabama. I was there last night for a little speaking engagement, a little fundraiser for Pritchard Prep with Taylor Zarzar and his family, along with Matt Stinchcomb, a really great friend of mine, and also Jim Nagy. So it was a great time last night. Mobile on a random, what was that, Wednesday? Yeah, it was good.
Okay, so tough question here. Better unit on the field Saturday night in Bryant-Denny. Is it LSU's offense or Alabama's defense?
Well, that's going to be what determines to win the game. If you're just looking at it on paper, I don't think there is a better offense in college football right now than what LSU has shown and been able to do all year. But that's why you play the game. Alabama, they've had a week to prepare. LSU has had a week to prepare. I think this is going to be a lights out, guys. I'm really excited about it. I know my work schedule says I'm to be in Oxford, Mississippi, but my family's going to be at Tuscaloosa at the game, and I will be heading on over after I get off my show. I can't miss this one. So I'm excited about it personally. I do not know who's going to win that matchup because it's going to come down to who makes the biggest plays in the biggest moments. Ole Miss beat LSU because they got a couple crucial stops at the end of the game in the fourth quarter when they needed it the most. And that was it. It's not like they were playing great. That's not all you do. And sometimes you got to go out there and win a shootout. If it becomes a shootout, I think that favors LSU in a big-time manner. I think Alabama would love to keep this game in the upper 20s to the mid to low 30s, maybe even the upper 30s. But if it gets into the 40s and higher, that's not a game that Alabama wants to play, nor do I see a path for them winning that game as well.
All right, Roman Harper is with us on the move, and I want to ask you about Jalen Milroe. I think it's 142 yards rushing. Now, we know in college when you get sacked, that takes away, but does Jalen Milroe need to run the ball more in this contest than he has in the past? And are you surprised that he hasn't run the ball more on some design runs?
Well, I was going to say the design run factor is where I think Tommy Rees is actually like, okay, I need to allow this young man to be athletic and get the design runs going. I don't think he's called a lot of them in the first 4 or 5 games. And then versus Tennessee, the design run was up. And they started doing more of that. And I thought it was very effective versus the Tennessee defense that I thought was going to play. I thought was going to give Alabama fits up front. But lo and behold, they didn't. Alabama really did their own thing, blocked extremely well. I thought Tommy Rees did a good job of chipping the ends and really taking some steam off those guys. It's going to be interesting. I think that's a great matchup, but he is the most athletic player on that team. So you got to use him as far as his size and speed and ability is. And I think that's more of a weapon that teams have to defend once they know that you're willing to run it.
Roman Harper is with us, SEC Network. As he mentioned, you'll see him in Oxford. He'll be in Tuscaloosa for Bama and LSU as well.
Can't wait, guys.
First
of all, Oxford's going to be amazing.
Yep.
Oxford's going to be lights out. I think it's going to be a little cold, but other than that, it's going to be amazing. I can't wait. The Grove is still my favorite place to go in the SEC.
It is phenomenal, no doubt. Ole Miss, Texas A&M there. Harp presented each week by MyBookie.ag. Code next round for that 110% sign-on bonus at MyBookie.ag. MyBookie.ag. Code next round to get that 110% sign-on bonus. I want to talk about your old specialty, the defensive secondary. LSU's got two really, really good receivers. Alabama has got Kool-Aid McKinstry and then Terry Arnold, who seems to have played well this year. How do Alabama's corners, you think, hold up against those receivers?
Well, so I've done a lot of go-back film and watching and studying, preparing for this game. It's almost like I'm playing the game myself, guys. I'm looking at what Florida State – because you got to look at, okay, well, who actually had success versus this team? And you got to go all the way back to Florida State. What did Florida State do that gave them an edge, especially in the second half, versus LSU? And what they did was they said, you know what? We're going to challenge these guys. We're going to get right up in their face. We're going to press them man-to-man coverage, and we're going to take off time, make them work hard at the beginning of the route, and then we're going to rush these guys. And we're going to have a great rush plan. We're going to make sure we do not rush behind the quarterback. We're going to continue to collapse the quarterback, collapse the pocket, and then continue to get after this guy and allow him to not be comfortable in the pocket. And that's what they did. And they lined up, and they didn't change it. They had two high safeties. They played man-to-man coverage, and they said, come beat us. Now, I think things have changed a little bit because of the running game of Logan Diggs of LSU, because he was not playing as much as he is now. But so that has changed the run game. But I think still with Alabama, that's their best plan to try and win this game and trying to be aggressive at times with some certain blitz calls on run situations where you think they're going to run the ball. But other than that, I think you play man-to-man coverage. You try and challenge these receivers as much as possible and dare them to beat you, but you got to keep Jaden Daniels in the pocket. The moment he gets out of the pocket, you might as well give him 30 yards because that's what you're telling me if you're not going to contain him in the pocket. And if he beats you from within the pocket, throwing the ball all game long, then he deserves it. But that's not what he do. He's explosive when he runs and breaks out of the pocket. And it kind of demoralizes your defense because you're playing good coverage, but you still gave up 35, 40 yards. So you got to keep him in the pocket, and that is what if I'm Alabama, you got to do that.
So, Harp, I asked you about the alpha units. On the other side, I think we're all shocked that LSU's defense is as bad as it is. Alabama's offense isn't bad. It's not Alabama 19, 20, 21, but Alabama's offense has got the advantage over the LSU defense, correct?
Yes, because of the explosiveness of the offense of Alabama. LSU's defense, I mean, when you look at them statistically, like they're bad in every category. Like it's not like, oh, they just do this. Oh, it's fine if they just don't do this well. No, it's like they're bad in everything. So, yes, the advantage, and they're down their best D lineman and Mekhi Wingo as well. So it's really hard to replace him when you're already kind of thin up front. So Alabama does have the advantage, and I think Alabama's going to need their offense to sometimes be their best defense, which is keeping that explosive offense of LSU off the field.
Jackson Dart, as we move to that game you're going to early, the A&M Ole Miss game, Jackson Dart's best game of the year to me was against LSU in that win. Since then, he's sort of flattened out again. For some reason, and I know Texas A&M hasn't had the year they wanted, I think Texas A&M is a tough game for Ole Miss this weekend. The Aggies can do some things against that Ole Miss offense that I think Alabama did. Do you think Texas A&M has a fighting chance to knock off number 10 Ole Miss?
Yeah, of course they got a fighting chance because their defense is pretty legit. And they got oh my gosh, what's his name? Cooper, the linebacker. His name slipping my mind. His first name slipping my mind right now. But it's not just the D line, they're really good linebackers. Well, like because of that, they do have chance, but it's also on the other side of it. And, you talked about the Alphas earlier, and that's the Alphas on that matchup. Texas A&M's defense, especially by their D-line, what all they do on that side of the football versus Ole Miss's offense. I'm excited about that matchup, and I don't think Jackson Darter's really tailed off as much. I think Ole Miss found a run game finally. They couldn't run the ball the first 4 or 5 weeks, and all of a sudden now Quinshon Judkins is back doing what he does best. Ulysses Bentley, the fourth, doing a great job of running the football really hard, adding a 1-2 punch together on the run game. But I don't know if Texas A&M can score enough, especially on the road. A&M has not been they should be so much better offensively, but they're not. And we can point to all different types of situations, whatever it is, but they don't run the ball extremely well. The O-line has really struggled all year long. And we got to give credit when credit is due. Ole Miss's defense is better, and they have the ability to be able to get after the passer without rushing. I got to give Pete Golding, as much as the Alabama fans hate him, he's done a great job at Ole Miss.
All right, he is Roman Harper. You'll see him from the Grove. Then he'll jet over to Tuscaloosa for Bama and LSU on the SEC Network is where you see him from the Grove Saturday morning with SEC Nation. Harp, thank you very much for the time. Safe travels.
Hey, man, appreciate it, guys. There's no telling where I'm always at, but Ryan, thanks always for texting me just to remind me because I'm always on the go. So thank you, guys.
It's our pleasure. Take care, buddy. Harp with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. He is presented each week by MyBookie.ag. Code next round. Get that 110% sign-up bonus. You make your initial deposit. They match it with a bonus of 110%. That is free money. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag. Code next round. MyBookie.ag. Code next round.
Couple of things to tell you about. First off, this afternoon, I think it's 3 to 4, correct? 3 to 4 Central. We're at the Standard in Tuscaloosa, Alabama with our friends at Coca-Cola.
That is right, Jim.
And there is rumor that there could be a chance you get LSU or Alabama tickets. Not confirmed yet, but a good chance that a pair of LSU-Alabama tickets could be yours.
Big ticket.
Yeah, which would be a great ticket.
That's a tough one right now.
It's tough, yeah.
So,
right. So we could be giving those away, giving them away.
We're getting ready to be there 3 to 4 Central at the Standard, right there in downtown Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I'm told the ticket giveaway now is Alabama Chattanooga tickets.
Okay,
Alabama Chattanooga tickets.
Close.
Excellent job.
Yeah, one of those bonus, right?
Excellent job, Jim.
I got the alpha. It's UTC,
yes,
not LSU there.
You normally make those corrections after the show has started and everybody has showed up. Sorry, I know I said LSU. Thank you all for coming out. It is technically Chattanooga.
Well, thank you for the graphic support from Taylor there. So it's Alabama Chattanooga ticket.
Are we going to have Super Bowl tickets? No, it is Senior Bowl tickets. Senior Bowl is what we're going to get.
3 to 4 today at the Standard in Tuscaloosa with our friends at Coca-Cola, and we'll be out and about all of November with our friends at Coca-Cola. Tonight as well, it's Bud Light game night. We're at the Battery in Homewood. There you can scan a QR code, also for a chance to win future tickets to the big game at the end of the year down in Auburn, Alabama. The big game at the end of the year is
the Iron Bowl.
Alabama and Auburn.
Right.
Yes. So we'll do that. Bud Light game night tonight, the Battery in Homewood. So 2 chances to get out and see us today. The show being brought to you in part by our friends at Alabama Power. Manage your account on the go with Alabama Power's new mobile app. Just go to your app store, Apple and Android devices, and type in Alabama Power. Download those, or you can go straight to alabamapower.com/mobile app. alabamapower.com/mobile app. Make payments there. Check your usage. Also, you can find out when your electricity will be restored during storms. It's all right there. alabamapower.com/mobile app. Download that today. We've got football tonight. In college, the battle for the belt. South Alabama and Troy, LT. This is an interesting game tonight in the Sun Belt.
Yeah, I thought these teams would be they're both really solid. I mean, you go back to South Alabama, what they did to Oklahoma State. Now, that was before Ollie Gordon came on the scene, but they skull-drugged that team on the road. I thought both of these teams would have an opportunity to maybe do what Air Force and James Madison are doing this year.
Troy still has an outside chance to get into the conversation. It would obviously take some losses in them to win the Sun Belt, but I think outside chance for Troy still.
I think people recognize how good this game is. It's a Luganville game, so
that's right.
You've got Troy, who leads the Sun Belt West right now, 3-1 in conference, 6-2 overall. South Alabama, a little bit more of a disappointment, sitting at 4-4. I still think both of these coaches, John Sumrall and Kane Womack will ultimately be big-time coaches.
Yeah, I agree with you. And to your point, Jim, now look, South Alabama's not dead. They're both in the West there, so in that division, they can climb back into it. But when you look at Troy, they are 3-1 in the conference. They got the lead in that division, 6-2. So to keep any hope of maybe stealing that bid, they would have to win this one.
Yeah.
And it's a remote hope at best.
Yeah, down in Troy tonight, big game there, national TV. Also, a couple other games at one point could have been huge games. Wake Forest and Duke. Duke was off to a special season. They don't show up now in your college football playoff rankings after the injury to Riley Leonard and the loss to Notre Dame, but 6:30 ESPN for that one. And then there's TCU and Texas Tech. Boy, back in the preseason, was there a sexier pick to win the Big 12 than Texas Tech?
I thought they would be so much better. It's really one of my most disappointing teams of the season at 3-5 right now, 2-3 in the conference. I think Joey McGuire, I still think he's a good coach. I'm not going to back off that. But I didn't think they would win the conference, Lance, but I thought by this time they at worst would be 5-3, not 3-5.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all that TCU's sitting at 4-4. I've never been a Sonny Dykes guy. It was an amazing season last year.
I thought that was pretty obvious coming.
We brought up it's going to be tough for him to go 500 in this conference, which, by the way, where is he right now in conference?
Well, Lance, they're at 2-3.
Yeah.
They're at Texas Tech tonight. They've still got to play Texas next week, Baylor, and then at Oklahoma.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be tough for him to be 5-5 over the next 3 years in conference, but I did think Joey McGuire and Texas Tech would be much better this year. But quarterback injuries, sometimes it happens.
And they seem like struggle to recover from that blown lead against Oregon. Keep in mind how much we talk about this Oregon team now and how good they are. Texas Tech had them dead to rights.
Dead rights.
And lost that game.
3 games tonight in college, 1 NFL game. To play on the short week, you need our friends at Hydra Live to get you ready to go on a Thursday night game. We'll talk about that game after LT tells us about Hydra Live.
Yeah, IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy. It's all under one roof. You can't make it to Hydra Live, not a big deal. Nurse can actually come to you. For more information, you can follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Hydra Live Therapy. Go online, check out all these services, hydralifetherapy.com. And remember, mention Next Round at checkout. You're going to save 20% off all their services. Very important there. Next Round at checkout. It's our friends at Hydra Live.
Part of our Bud Light game nights, always getting you ready for Thursday night football. That includes the NFL every Thursday night, 7:15 on Prime. Titans and Steelers tonight. I assume the Titans will not wear the Love You Blues on the road.
It's unfortunate.
In Pittsburgh, because that used to be a great rivalry in the 70s, the Titans and the Steelers, couple of back when they were the Oilers, couple of AFC championship games in 78 and 79. But in this game, you got 2 pretty good defenses, 2 teams that are still in the playoff hunt. A really entertaining football game tonight, but you start with the question is who's playing quarterback for either side?
Yeah, look, I mean, Kenny Pickett says the rib injury will not keep him out of this game, so I think he'll probably give it a go. Will Levis, I think the biggest fear for Will Levis was, okay, I got an opportunity. I played well. We got to win. DeAndre Hopkins is a Hall of Fame wide receiver. And then they thought about trading him. But they were able to retain him, and we'll see what happens tonight. I think it's a fascinating game. Pittsburgh's a slight favorite just because they're at home right here. I never trust Tennessee, though. Tennessee's just so up and down, and what are the chances? I don't think any of us believed in Will Levis that he could go out and back up a 4-touchdown performance and play clean football tonight on the road against a good Pittsburgh team.
On the road against a really good secondary.
19 of 29, 238 and 4 touchdowns for him Sunday and his debut. But you see it all the time, man. And we talk about this with Daniel Jeremiah on DJ Football. If you want to go to Disrupt the Media and get that, if you're watching us on YouTube, the links are right below in the show description area. You let a guy make a start and then let defensive coordinators get a good game of film on him, and it's a different ball game the next time out. Now, this is short week, but still, you got some good NFL film now on Will Levis. And the more film they get, the harder it becomes for him. The great ones are able to survive that. The good ones survive it some. The bad ones fall off. So I think it'll be interesting to see as he plays more and more games and there's more and more film. Can he back up this type of performance?
DeAndre Hopkins, a Hall of Famer, asked Jay Price over there. I think that's a pretty much given, is it not?
I don't know, man. It's hard on receivers.
I would think that he's a Hall of Famer.
It's hard on receivers.
Was he not?
I mean, here's what you look at: first team All-Pro. Those are voted by your peers. And there's only 2 receivers on those teams. And how many times in his career has he been a first-team guy?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
if it's more than twice, I mean, he should be right there. Let's see. D-Hop is 3-time first-team All-Pro.
Yeah.
17, 18, and 19.
Was he on the team that made it to the World Series? I mean, the Super Bowl?
No.
He was not?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that was
Larry Fitzgerald.
Larry Fitzgerald, who is an easy Hall of Famer right there as well. All right, so there you go. That's the Thursday slate for you right there. LT tells you about Dr. B. And when we come back, let's get an update on some stake bets. What do you say? You want to do that?
I got them for you,
All right,
baby.
We got 15 stake bets that are coming down to the wire that we made over the summer.
15. They're all going to be decided by the end of the season.
By the end of the season.
Wow.
15 of them, which could flip.
I'm going to assume it's trending bad for me.
No. I really don't know where any of these are.
I've got your answers.
Yeah, so we'll run through those on the flip side. Dr. B brings you part of the show.
Hey, Dr. B, went to see him a week ago today. Got that Sensus transdermal infuser. This enables Dr. B to get various medicines and therapies into the scalp where the hair follicles are without using any injections. This is revolutionary as Dr. B can pinpoint delivery of a patient's genetically specific products without any needles. T3hair.net. Again, my hair has more than doubled in thickness since the first time I went to see Dr. B. I do that non-invasive treatment on the couch, 30 minutes, 3 times a week. For more information, you can call Dr. Beckenstein today, 205-319-0316, 205-319-0316, and make sure you tell them the next round sent you.
Follow the Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
The Next Round Golf Cart is here. Your chance to play 4 area golf courses for just $89. Get 18 holes in Cart and Limestone Springs, Cross Creek, The Meadows, and the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. A $247 value for just $89. Get your golf cart now at nextround.store.
There are so many things I love about walk-ons. Authentic, mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine, prepared fresh, daily from scratch. A great beer selection and TVs everywhere to watch the big game every day of the week. And of course, they've got 2 great locations on Highway 280 and 119 and at Hoover near the Hoover Met. Walk-ons is also a great place for happy hour, 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with $5 moonshine swirls, $5 house pours, and half-price appetizers. And it's an easy take-home experience for the family as well. Highway 280 and Hoover with walk-ons.
Make sure to start your day at nextroundlive.com. Get caught up on the latest podcasts and videos from the live daily show, plus specialty shows such as the Mystery Fifth Hour. You can also learn more about the whole staff at Double Down Media, find all of our social media feeds, see the latest videos from our YouTube channel and gaming channel, plus find other ways to consume the show like the Next Round mobile app, which you can download direct from the site via your iOS and Android device. Make nextroundlive.com your homepage and stay up to date with everything from us here at the Next Round.
If you're from here, you know the best time of golf in Alabama is the fall. That means it's time for golf at Timberline, a short drive from Montgomery or Birmingham. Go to timberlinegc.com, timberlinegc.com to book your tee times, schedule a lesson, or just drop by and use the TrackMan technology on the driving range. The course is always fun, in great shape, and you can even become a member. Get all the details at timberlinegc.com. It's time to get your golf on with our friends at Timberline.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Want more of the Next Round? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast. The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
The show being brought to you by our friends at JohnsonRVCenter.com. LT will tell you that we've got a lot of fun coming up with Johnson RV right after Brownie tells us about Johnson RV.
They might have an RV making a trip to Tuscaloosa this weekend. Johnson RV Center's got a lot of RVs, though. In fact, they just returned from the annual Forest River Expo. That allows them to see the latest travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, and motorhome floor plans. And they got a lot of exciting and fresh inventory arriving from the Forest River Expo daily now. So they need to make room for that. So the Call of Fall campaign gets you great savings on many different lines to get you camping this fall. Fifth Wheels discounted more than $50,000. Travel trailers starting at $179 a month with approved credit. Don't forget, like us, they believe the United States military has kept this the greatest nation in the universe. No questions asked about it, period, end of sentence. So they say a small thank you to the United States military. Whether active duty or retired, you get great discounts. They're at Johnston RV Center, I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 indicator, and always online, johnstonrvcenter.com.
And what are we doing with the Johnston RV this weekend, LT?
We are actually taking it to Tuscaloosa.
Look out.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing a show live in the RV from 9 until 10 on Saturday morning, and then we're going to be doing a tailgate in Tuscaloosa.
Yep.
And it's a pretty sweet model. Yep. Mr. Nick has hooked us up with, so really excited about that. Going to be tailgating, watching games. We're going to do it RV style.
All right.
I've only done this a couple of times in my life.
I've never done it, and I've always wanted to do it. In fact, there is a point I wish at some point this is what become. I hope you enjoy Saturday, because I want our future to involve at least one season where we just take a Johnston RV around to the biggest game every Saturday.
Have you ever driven one?
I have never driven one.
Do you want to try?
I do not. I'm on.
You're on the meds?
I don't know what that means.
I'm not supposed to operate heavy machinery.
Wait, so are you not driving your car down
to Tuscaloosa?
Yeah.
I'm trying not to.
Yeah.
Am I not on the RV?
Yeah, no. Are you on the RV? I didn't know. RV? I didn't know you were ever on the RV.
Oh.
But I've got a seat behind a wheel. It's looking like my driver. My driver might be flaking out.
Oh no!
Okay.
That is a huge development, because I know you ain't driving it.
Well, I might have to. I mean, if push comes to shove.
Wow.
Well, I mean, if Nick signs off on it, I'll give it a whirl. We'll see. We'll see.
Boy, Nick right now is panicked watching this segment.
We did return the one we took to Indianapolis.
Yeah, we were fine with that.
We did. No, absolutely.
Yeah. But they,
smaller.
we keep up with stats with everything. Alabama is currently 0-1 when we were in a Johnston RV.
Hey, I asked Tyler though. We were just
true.
We were just in the bathroom, and I said, "Tyler, you ever driven an RV?"
You ever seen a grown man naked?
Yeah, he said no, but I'd give it a shot. And he just said he used to drive a dump truck. So
Tyler drove a dump truck?
The man has worked everywhere.
Rockstar, did you know this?
Can you even get in a dump truck? Those things are tall, dude.
I know. I did not know Tyler had driven a dump truck.
So I used to work landscaping one summer, and I drove the dump truck to haul off the fallen trees.
Yeah.
And I also used to drive the 60-foot bucket truck sometimes.
I mean,
wow.
Well, I mean, that's basically an RV.
Wow. Fantastic.
I
Okay.
think you found your guy.
New York Butcher Shop pays off our steaks. We'll tell you about New York Butcher after we get a little steak update. There are a lot of these, 15 of them coming down to the wire. And I'll just run through. Let's go win totals right now.
Okay.
These are all, I've got this side. LT's got the other side. I've got NC State under 7 wins. 7 is a push. Where's NC State?
5-3 right now, Jimmy D.
5-3.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah, I kind of like your spot there.
I don't know. Could end up being a push. Sounds like a push to me. If they go 2-2 down the stretch.
Yeah, but I don't know what they've got. They've got a tough game this weekend.
Yeah.
NC State
against Miami at home this weekend.
Yeah, they're against Miami at home, as Jim said, at Wake, at Virginia Tech, and host North Carolina. Sounds like a push to me.
Kansas State, I got under 9 wins. 9's a push.
6-2. That makes Saturday's game in Austin pretty big for you there, Lance.
Kansas State trending to an over right now.
Oh, are they?
Are they not?
Yeah.
I got them at 6-2. You need 9 wins. I got to find 3 more wins.
They're one of the better teams in the country right
yeah,
now.
I mean, they're at Texas, host Baylor, at Kansas, host Iowa State. Those are not layups.
This one's obviously not trending. I had Washington under 9. 9's a push.
All they need is 1 win. They're 8-0.
Yeah, that to get a push, too,
for
the
over.
win. Yeah, that one's over.
You can pay that one off.
I got BYU under 8. 8's a push.
You're going to get that.
You think so? They're at 5-3.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for them to get 3 wins.
Yeah, at West Virginia, you're probably going to need that one.
Yep.
Okay, 7 of these 10 had to hit. This was one of those crazy bets we did in the offseason.
Oh, so you got a 7 out of these 10?
7 out of these 10. Kentucky over 6.5.
5-3.
They got to get 2 more wins.
That would be correct.
Duke 6.5.
5-3.
Got to get 2 more wins. Shoot. UCF 6.5.
Well, they're at 3-5. You can probably pack that one in.
Okay, you got to get 7 of
yeah, they got to win out.
UCF is done. Auburn over 6.5.
They're 4-4.
It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough. They got to get 3 wins.
West Virginia over 4.5. Is that already
got it.
5-3, so there's a winner for you.
Okay, 6 more. A&M over 7.5.
They're at 5-3. It's going to be a tough one.
USC over 7.5.
All they got to do is find a win. You got USC at 7.5.
That's where it was when we made this bet.
They're 7-2.
I got UAB under 6.5.
Oh, you've got that one. They're 2-6. Now, is that regular season or does it count bowl?
Regular season.
Regular season. That's a winner.
Virginia Tech over 5.5.
They're 4-4.
Got to find 2 more wins.
Yep, you do.
God, a lot of these are 2 more wins.
Yeah, you've got a lot of 5-3, 4-4 teams.
And Tennessee under 9.5.
They're at 6-2. It's going to get tricky.
Yeah. All right. So I got 5. I got to find 5 winners in those there. Let's go Texas. Just for me to get a push. This is the last year of this bet, LT. I forget the other teams. I think it was Iowa State and Kansas State. Texas would have more Big 12 championship game appearances than Kansas State, Iowa State, and Texas hasn't been there in the middle of this window.
So they got to go this year.
They got to go this year just for me to get a push.
Yeah, and at the same time, Kansas State or Iowa State can't match up with them.
That's right. Good point, because that would give them another one.
And Iowa State and Kansas State, by the way, are right in the running right now.
Right in the running.
So that Kansas State-Texas game is big for you on a lot of fronts. Big for you on a lot of fronts.
One top 10 team falls out of the AP top 25. Was Clemson a top 10 team? I think they were, right, to start the year?
So it's Associated Press preseason poll. Yeah, give me 2 seconds and I'll tell you that.
I think they were.
For a moment, we thought it was going to be LSU.
Well, they started
out,
trending
right?
that way. Yeah.
But now they've battled back. I think Clemson was...
Preseason Clemson was number 9.
Number 9.
Yeah, there's your.
Who else would be in there? Was A&M in there?
USC was. If it falls apart for USC, A&M was not. Texas A&M was not in the top 10.
Big game for Clemson this weekend against Notre Dame.
Yeah.
That could get them back on a path to get them in the back end of the top 25.
I remember coming out of the South Florida game where people were saying this could be Alabama.
Oh yeah, absolutely. More receiving yards for the year, Jamar Chase or Marvin Harrison Jr.? I've got Chase.
And you've got a lead, 889 now. Chase has played one last game, but he's at 656. He's played one fewer game. He's obviously going to have more games than Marvin Harrison. So 889 for Harrison, 656 for Jamar Chase.
Oh, so Harrison is ahead right now.
Well, he's ahead, but he's also played one more game than Jamar Chase.
Yeah. More touchdowns. Both these are college guys. I've got Peyton Thorne total touchdowns. And he's got Devin Leary.
Leary at 17 currently, Thorne at 10. That's a lot of ground for you to make up. 7 touchdowns in
at least
1 month.
You've only got, Alabama coming up?
Rushing
Alabama
yards.
for both of them.
I have no clue where this one is because Judkins has got hot, and I haven't been keeping up with Corum. I got Corum. He's got Judkins total rushing yards.
Who do you think leads this, Lance?
Oh, I think Corum does right now just because Judkins was Judkins the last 3 games has been really good. But Corum's been good the entire year.
I was surprised when I found out that Judkins is at 691, Corum is at 605. That's a surprising number to me. I would have said you had the lead with Corum.
Is it because of all the blowouts? They just haven't been running him as much?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah, so I'm not trending as well as I'd hoped to on this one. I've got Auburn minus 10.5 this weekend at Vandy. We made this back in the summer. What's the betting line?
Bigger than that.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think you're getting value there.
Yeah, I think it's like 14.
Yeah.
Do you think Auburn can cover 10.5 at Vandy this weekend?
Yeah, based on the way they played last week in the first half, yeah.
And I don't think Vandy's all that great.
No.
LSU does not get 10 regular season wins. Big game this weekend.
Yes, I would say so. Yeah. LSU pretty big for you.
Yeah, because that would get them. That would close the door on that, right?
No. They would still have to win out.
Well, they got to close the deal, but
they've already got 2 losses. That'd be their 3rd loss, right?
Oh, yeah, you could close the door that way. I'm saying even if LSU wins, they've still got work to do.
Georgia unbeaten regular season. That's week to week. I've got Georgia going unbeaten again. I want to stake with that one last year. I don't think we did it 2 years ago. Lane Kiffin, 9+ wins twice, and he's already done it while head coach at Ole Miss.
Well, they're 7-1. And let me see what they got coming up. By the way, Auburn is favored 12.5 in that game. So it's
back in the summer, it was almost
pretty close.
Yeah, almost nailed that line.
That's currently at mybookie.ag. Code next round, by the way. So what we got? You want
Ole Miss
remaining
big game
schedule?
this weekend.
Massive game this weekend for this bet. So you got to find 2 more wins.
What are they? 7?
They're 7-1.
They got to win 9.
They got to win 9. If they win this weekend, they got it. But I still think they're going to get there. They got Texas A&M this weekend at Georgia. Then they close with UL Monroe and at State.
Yeah, they'd have to lose 3 or 4.
Yeah, I think you were good in that one.
And then Will Rogers breaks the regular season record. I mean, the passing record this year. Back in the summer, we said he had to get 2,477.
Zero chance.
He's been hurt. What is
1,275 yards.
1,275.
So he needs another 1,200.
What does he have?
They got 4 games. There's no chance.
They're not getting a bowl game, are they?
Oh, I wouldn't think so. They're at 4-4. I mean, they're not dead.
Yeah.
Well, I guess there's a chance they could close it out 6-6 and get a bowl game, but they've got Kentucky at A&M, host Southern Miss, and host Ole Miss. They're going to beat Southern Miss, but
I remember
that's a tough schedule outside of that.
I remember when we made this bet, I think you guys were like, that's a dumb bet. He would have to get hurt.
Yeah.
For it.
And he got hurt.
And he got hurt.
That's why.
And I didn't realize their offense would be awful. I thought it would be
better than that.
Serviceable at least, right?
All right. That's 15 stake bets that we have winding down. We have some out there that at some point I'll just have to give it to LT, like Jimbo Fisher winning a national championship before a man or woman lands on Mars.
Well, I mean, when he gets fired.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he may get back in coaching, but if he gets a job like at West Virginia, I will throw that one away. Probably.
I don't know about you guys. Jimbo seems like when he gets whatever buyout he's getting, he's going to shut it down.
Yeah, and I don't think we're making any progress in getting man on Mars right now. Like Jimbo's still coaching games. I don't think anybody's at NASA like, boys, we're almost there.
Yeah.
Well, we can I think we can launch on Mars.
That was just a walk-off mic drop for LT. Oh, yeah. Before men or women land on Mars.
Jimbo ever wants to do anything, it's going to be coaching or like farming. He ain't going to be on TV.
Farming?
Yeah, he will not be on television.
Oh, I wish he was on game day.
Our friends at New York Butcher Shop brings us all those steak bets. That's a great place to go get a steak.
Yeah, New York Butcher Shop. You can pick up the finest and certified Angus prime beef steaks, burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Chef-prepared entrees, side dishes, perfect dinner-to-go choice for you and your family, ready to heat at home. Don't forget about the huge deli sandwiches with a great selection of fine wines and desserts. New York Butcher Shop, one-stop dinner shop, 2 locations, Cabo Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Start each game week on Monday morning live with ESPN's Tom Luganville and Jim Dunaway. 7 a.m. everywhere you get the next round.
Hi, this is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. You're not average, and the New Balance Birmingham store has the shoes and apparel to perfectly match your unaverage self. If we were all shaped the same and had the same level of fitness, and if we all walked and ran exactly alike, well, then I guess an average shoe store selling average shoes would be just fine. But you deserve better. At the New Balance Birmingham store, our specialists will match you with a custom pair of New Balance shoes that fit you perfectly. Come see us at the New Balance Birmingham store. Your feet will thank you.
There are so many things I love about walk-ons. Authentic, mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine, prepared fresh, daily from scratch. A great beer selection and TVs everywhere to watch the big game every day of the week. And of course, they've got 2 great locations on Highway 280 and 119 and at Hoover near the Hoover Met. Walk-ons is also a great place for happy hour, 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with $5 moonshine swirls, $5 house pours, and half-price appetizers. And it's an easy take-home experience for the family as well. Highway 280 in Hoover with walk-ons.
The Double Down Media podcast family is live and full of content for all ages. The Mystery Fifth Hour gives the next round hosts a chance to talk about everything but sports. Pour a glass of Bama and bourbon, our weekly college football conversation, while sipping some of the most interesting pours in the bourbon world. And our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, presented by Redmont Vodka. LT has in-depth conversations with personalities like Clay Travis and Taylor Hicks. Find those podcasts and more by searching The Next Round on Apple and Spotify. And remember to like and subscribe.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round. You've heard me for years talk about our friends at Bromberg's Jewelers, and we welcome you to stop by and see that great customer service at the Mountain Brook and Summit locations, but we'd also love for you to check out their new online shop. They've got plenty to choose from. Great gifts, big and small. Available online, they've got David Yurman, Tudor watches, select diamond and gemstone jewelry, William Henry, seasonal and favorite giftware items and baby gifts as well. They've even got an online sale section. For more information, brombergs.com.
The Next Round Golf Cart is here. Your chance to play 4 area golf courses for just $89. Get 18 holes of golf and cart at Limestone Springs, Cross Creek, The Meadows, and the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. That's a value of $247 for just $89. Or get the Next Round Deluxe Golf Cart for just $119. It gets you all 4 courses with cart, plus an exclusive Next Round Golf t-shirt, koozie, golf tees, and a sticker. There are no restrictions. The cart is good through September 2024. Get your golf cart now at nextround.store.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, we'll talk to T-Bob Hebert coming up in our next segment at 10:25. Looking forward to talking to T-Bob. Part of our show today being brought to you by our friends at Odie's. Last night, Rockstar was what? You weren't here to ring the bell.
It was trivia.
Well, yeah, Tyler did it for you.
Tyler did such a great impersonation of you yesterday.
Oh, there's no way he could do a great impersonation.
He went.
Yeah,
just like that.
He played it perfect.
You got to struggle.
Yeah. What was the question last night?
The question last night was, which came first, Nick Saban, who celebrated a birthday this week, Halloween, or the kids' cereal tricks?
Boy, I got to tell you, Saban is 72.
So what does that put him born? 51?
51.
51. I'm going to say tricks are late 50s, so I'd go Saban came before tricks.
I'm going to say Saban came before tricks because I don't think that translated as a good commercial until color television.
You silly rabbit, tricks for kids.
You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense. Saban came 1951, Tricks 1954, so it was
go.
Nick Saban.
Yeah, I wonder when color TV came along.
Yeah.
The big question is, you think Nick Saban has ever had a bowl of tricks?
Oh, yeah. As a kid in West Virginia, I bet he had a bowl of tricks.
The small facts you learn when you come out to Odie's Team Trivia. That's every Wednesday night at the original in Crestline Village, of course. Live music every Friday and Saturday at both locations, the newest in Homewood. We were there last Thursday night. Great places. Stop by, enjoy the great food. Ice cold beer buckets full of Bud Light. They're Birmingham institutions. It's Odie's Tavern.
You were hinting last week when we were at Odie's for Bud Light game night, maybe get a second trivia night going at the new Odie's.
That has been discussed.
Yeah. How much fun would that be?
We're in negotiations, Jim.
That has been discussed. Would you be about it?
Me doing it?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I'm not a great trivia host.
No.
You.
I just want to be upset when I'm left out.
No. I've never been upset about being left out about trivia. About trivia?
But, I mean, if we were to hypothetically do another trivia, would you be open to doing it?
Come on, Dunaway, you could do it.
My social anxiety would make that something I would not look forward to every week. I mean, I enjoy going. I enjoy sitting in the crowd playing trivia.
He's on the fence. I can't tell if he wants to do it or not.
Yeah. But as far as sitting up there hosting, the pressure of trying to entertain people. By the way, Color TV, 1953.
How about that?
Tricks came in what?
54.
54, just in time.
Wait, so you were on a desk doing television, or you were doing news for CBS.
Right, but I'm also on cameras here as well, but it's basically 3 of us in a room talking to each other. 3 people I consider friends sitting around talking.
That's what we do at trivia.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just got to ignore them. You envision them naked.
Yeah. And
Hell yeah.
That's great advice.
That's what you do.
Daniel is begging for Thursday night trivia at the new
we're
location.
working on it.
All right, we'll see how it all plays out.
I just occurred to I think Jack State, South Carolina is going to be a good game. And as a Jack State attendee, I can't get it on one of my screens. I was just looking at the 11 a.m. slate. It's too dang good for me to get Jack State, South Carolina on a consistent basis on ESPNU.
Why can you not get it on ESPNU?
Well, I mean, because I can get ESPNU, but don't you think Kansas State, Texas, I think is going to be a tremendous football game, right?
Yeah.
That will be my plan for the main.
With playoff implications.
I've got Notre Dame, Clemson, and Texas A&M Ole Miss on my 3 TVs as of right now. That's where I will start the 11 a.m. window.
Well, I'm interested, LT. Do you think Ohio State at Rutgers could become a sticky situation for Ohio State?
I think Rutgers got a really good defense. Problem is they just have no offense. Go back, see what Michigan did to them early in the season.
You see the TV slate up there for you. Starting in the first column down at the bottom, Kansas State, Texas, Ohio State, Rutgers. To some degree, Notre Dame still has a path to the playoffs. It would take great chaos against Clemson. Texas A&M, Ole Miss. Ole Miss is number 10. Arkansas, Florida. I think Arkansas gets Florida, by the way.
They may. I just don't have a ton of interest in that.
Arkansas's
game.
been good on the road and bad at home.
That's weird.
Hey, Alabama, LSU. Do you guys have a feel yet?
I've got a vision on this game, Lance. First of all, do you think Jack State stands a chance at South Carolina? Man, that number's only like 12 or 13.
I thought it was 15.5.
I think it opened at 15.5. I'll give it to you right now from mybookie.ag.
And Jack State this
15
year,
15.5. Yeah, 15.5.
5-2-1 against the number.
Yeah.
Hey, but I came across this. So
I've got a vision on Bama LSU.
We've talked about Alabama has not had huge starts. They used to jump out. It was 7-0, 14-0, 21-0. They have trailed at halftime 4 times this year. So obviously you trail at halftime, you trail in the second half. Nick Saban in Tuscaloosa has trailed 51 times in the second half. What do you think his record in those games is?
Oh, if he's trailed in the second half.
He has trailed in the second half 51 times?
That's really hard. You mean not in Bryant-Denny, just in his time at Tuscaloosa?
No, just talking about in his 17 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really not. I mean, think about how many games.
No, I thought you said in Bryant-Denny.
No, when you said in Tuscaloosa, I thought that's what you meant.
You meant while coaching at
While
Alabama.
coaching, yeah.
Oh, because
At Bama, he has trailed 51 times in the second half. What do you think his records are?
I will say if he has trailed in the second half 51 times, he's 30-21 in those. That's too many losses.
I'm going to say that's where all of his losses are. How many has he lost total?
He's how many has he lost?
In Tuscaloosa.
2 seconds on that.
Yeah, pull that up.
I want to say 24 times.
When I said 21, this shows you how good Nick Saban's been. I'm like, my God, has he had 21 losses in Tuscaloosa? In Tuscaloosa, Nicholas Saban, my gosh, he's got a long Wikipedia page, is 196-28.
28.
Well, that counts some forfeits because he's got 200 wins. So I don't really know.
Yeah.
But he's got 28 losses.
I'm going to say when he's lost out of 51, did you tell me?
51.
After 51, he is 25-26.
It's dead on. I mean, this is
Are
when
you
he's at
serious?
his
He's
worst.
500 when he trails in the second half.
He's sub 500. Yeah, 25-26.
Yeah.
But this year, he's done it against Tennessee.
He's 3-1 this year in the second half when
so
he's trailed.
Texas is the only one because he's trailed against Tennessee in the second half, Ole Miss in the second half, and I can't remember the other one right offhand.
So
Texas A&M. In the
flip side of that, Hunter wants to know what's his record when he's leading at halftime.
Well, it's ridiculous.
He's probably only got a handful of losses.
Yeah, 175 and.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably 5-6 losses.
And I think this is one of those situations. Again, he's 3-1 when he's trailed in the second half of this year, but I think they will trail at some point in the second half. And I don't necessarily means they lose the game.
From the gambling front, Brian Edwards points this out, and then I want to give you my vision because I forgot to say it earlier this week.
Okay.
From the gambling front, and I'm going to pull up the total in this game because it is a total stat here. Alabama is
your voice just got really deep.
It is a total stat. Yeah. Alabama is favored 3. The total is 61 from Brian Edwards, who covers the gambling industry and does a very good job with it. LSU in their last 16 games, the total has gone over 15 times.
Yeah, 12 straight. I've got that stat at 12 straight overs.
12 straight and 15-1 in their last 16 contests going over. So their games are going over the Vegas total every single week.
Well, it's not surprising. I mean, they're leading the FBS in scoring at 47.4 points per game, and then on the flip side, the defense isn't good.
Yeah.
So,
and they lead in total yards too. Brown's about to give you his vision. It's brought to you by our friends at Michelson.
Oh, what a lead-in!
Michelson Laser Vision.
I'm going to see this clearly.
Vision's in the word, LT.
I'm going to see this clearly.
Yeah, Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. Make the phone call that I made over 2 decades ago, 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. They're going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation, 0 to lose, to find out if LASIK is right for you. Again, I've got 2015 vision, better than 2020. Make the call that I made. If you're wasting money on contacts and solutions, stop doing it. Stop procrastinating. Think about this. Holidays are here. What about the gift of sight? 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
Do you believe in redemption?
I think there's great value in redemption. Yes.
That's an interesting answer to a question that seemed like a yes or no question.
I do believe in redemption.
Lance, do you believe in redemption?
I do believe in redemption. I believe in second chances. I believe in a third chance.
I think we've all been given a second chance. We need more than that. Rockstar, do you believe in redemption?
Amen. I read the Redemption song by Bob Marley.
Not overrated song in my opinion. Sorry to tell you, I am not crazy about that song.
It's okay.
Three little birds, my friend.
The Alabama Crimson Tide, some would say, was looking for a little redemption against Tennessee, a little payback, if you will, for that loss. And they got it against Tennessee. They're going to play LSU. They, too, are looking for redemption, but I don't think it just comes on the team side. I don't think it just comes on the team side, the redemption story. I think there's a bigger redemption story coming out of this game. Because this is how this is going to play out. That's how it's going to play out, Jim.
The former LSU transfer who's killing it in the NFL but didn't play great in Tuscaloosa is going to come back and play?
Eli Ricks?
And cover the 2-point conversion?
What a weird storyline for my vision. No, this is an actual vision.
The guy's killing it in the NFL
Well, I know
now.
he is. A lot of players do that. They're not great in college, and they're awesome in the NFL. This is going to be a classic game. A classic game. Alabama's offense is probably going to outperform anything it has done this year. Alabama's defense is going to have their backs against the wall a lot. They're going to bend a little, but not break enough. And this is going to be a tight game all the way down to the end. All the way down to the end when, as the horn sounds, the Will Reichard field goal flies through the uprights to give Alabama the win.
Did he miss one against LSU?
He missed one against Tennessee last year that would have given Alabama the win, and this is his personal redemption.
Yeah, last one that he's missed was against Tennessee in Knoxville, so he's made 28 consecutive field goals.
28,
but
Lance.
If I'm an Alabama fan, that guy is money, but the last thing I want to see is like a 52-yard field goal to win it when it says at that point maybe Reichard has hit 30 of 30.
Is it, Lance? It's going to be uncomfortable.
Swirling winds.
It's going to be uncomfortable. Cold night at Bryant-Denny. When is the last time Alabama has had a game won by a walk-off field goal? I can't even remember. Maybe it's more obvious than I think.
It's good. It's good.
I mean,
it's good.
It's good.
Was it Tennessee in 1990 when Alabama last had a walk-off field goal for a win?
I don't know.
But it's going to happen Saturday night.
In the Bud Light chat room. Let us know. Throw it over there really quick.
I can't even remember.
Let us know last time Bama won on a walk-off. And while you're over there, here's one for you. Tell me the quarterback that's beaten Nick Saban twice as a starting quarterback while he's in Tuscaloosa when he's coaching Alabama.
I've got the answer there.
Who is it?
That would be they don't exist.
And nobody. Here he is right here. He's joined us in studio today.
Yeah. This would be, I mean, that's an accomplishment. If Jaden Daniels is the guy to do that, I think you probably say that's the last time that'll ever be done.
To beat Nick Saban twice as a starting quarterback?
Because most of these guys aren't around.
Yeah. Trevor Lawrence never got a second shot at Alabama, right? Deshaun Watson lost the first one, beat him the second time.
I'm trying to think, okay, so I don't think he'll play Quinn Ewers again. Well, I don't know. They play Oklahoma or Texas next year.
They play Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yep.
Could be in the SEC championship.
Could be, yeah.
Interesting stuff. Alabama and
Stetson
LSU.
Bennett had the opportunity. Couldn't get it done in Atlanta.
Didn't get it done in Atlanta. They didn't
I think
play
Stetson
each other.
might have been 1-3. Did he play in that Tuscaloosa game?
I think he did. Yep. So he lost one time. Beat him just once.
Was it last year at Texas? Was that the last time? No joke. That's what people are saying in the chat room. I think that is correct. Last year at Texas, was that the final play? I mean, legitimately final play of the game?
I don't think that was the final play of the game. No.
No, there was still 10 seconds on the clock when Reichard kicked it. Yeah.
Had to kick it off.
Had to kick it off.
Course. We're talking about true walk-off.
True walk-off. Then I think the last one might have been Jamie Christensen, Money Christensen. It's a hard name for me to say. Against Texas Tech in the Cotton Bowl. That was Shula era 2005.
That was the knuckler, right?
Yeah, terrible looking
ugly
kick. I mean, I think that's the last one. No joke. If you want to talk true walk-off final play of the game. But, my friends, you're going to see it Saturday night. I've declared it, Jim. It is going to be a Will Reichard walk-off field goal. Bryant-Denny goes crazy. You will keep him off the field tonight.
Cut number one, Rockstar. Nick Saban talking about going all the way 60 minutes. Brown's talking about 60 minutes. That's what
you're going to need them all.
Alabama may need this weekend. Here's Nick Saban after practice yesterday in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, you've talked about the 60-minute game and maintaining intensity for 60 minutes. Players have talked about it too. What do you think it's going to take for that to finally happen for this team to get that in a full 60-minute game?
Well, they have to make a choice and a decision to do it. All right, they got to understand the level of intensity that has to be sustained, the sense of urgency that has to be sustained, and how smart you have to be, which goes back to the preparation that you had so that you're not making mental errors because you're playing smart and you're playing with good intelligence. All right, so you got immediacy, intensity, and intelligence. You know, those three things. sustained for 60 minutes to a high standard. That's the challenge, and you have to make a choice and decision to do that. And it doesn't just happen in the game. It's got to be a habit. If you practice at a high level all the time, you'll be able to play in the game at a high level all the time. If you don't do it in practice and you think you're going to be able to do it in a game, probably not going to happen. And we keep harping, we keep teaching. Every time we get the opportunity to point out to a player, this is an opportunity for you to learn how to sustain better in the game. We want to try to do it.
Yeah, and everyone would agree Alabama has not played a 60-minute game.
They have not.
They have not played.
In fact, they played a lot of 30-minute games, it feels like.
A lot of good halves. A lot of good halves this year. All right. Are some good quarters and bad fourth quarters. We will get to T-Bob Hebert. He'll tell us more about LSU as they're coming to town. Ross says LSU will shock Bama's defense and force them to adjust throughout the game. Love your comments over there. Love our friends at the Pan Store getting ready for the weather change and a big, big game weekend over in Tuscaloosa, up in Nashville for Auburn and UAB back in action at Protective. Pan Store is your game day headquarters. Get all your polos, hats, quarter zips. You choose from famous name brands like Gentile, Cutter and Buck, Antigua, Elephant Head, and Taylor and Mick. And ladies, you get the rompers, the skirts, the clear bags, and the booties. Find any of your game day needs at panstore.com, panstore.com, or any of their 6 locations in Auburn, Crestline, Hoover, Huntsville, Leeds, and Tuscaloosa. It's our friends at the Pan Store, panstore.com.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Football season is here, and Legacy Credit Card is just what you need to manage your spending safely and wisely. Credit cards offer better consumer protection against fraud when compared to a debit card, which is linked directly to your bank account. Legacy offers rates as low as 8.9% APR on credit cards compared to major card providers who advertise rates as high as 29% APR. Look no further than Legacy. Open a credit card online in minutes at legacycreditunion.com/join. APR's annual percentage rate, rates, and offers subject to change. See website for details. Federally insured by NCUA.
It's college football time in Alabama. This is Congressman Robert Adderholt. I grew up an Alabama fan, Roll Tide, but my wife, Caroline, grew up an Auburn fan, War Eagle. But no matter who you pull for, whether it's the Lions of the University of North Alabama or the Gamecocks of Jacksonville State or any other school in between, I want to wish all the players, the coaches, and especially the fans another great college football season here in Alabama. I'm Robert Adderholt, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Adderholt for Congress.
The Double Down Media podcast family is live and full of content for all ages. The Mystery Fifth Hour gives the Next Round host a chance to talk about everything but sports. Pour a glass of Bama and bourbon, our weekly college football conversation while sipping some of the most interesting pours in the bourbon world. And our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call. LT takes off the gloves for an in-depth conversation with stars like Taylor Hicks, presented by Redmond Vodka. Find those podcasts and more by searching The Next Round on Apple, Spotify, and on our website, nextroundlive.com.
No one does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Whatever your preference, we have everything from tequila cocktails and an extensive bourbon category to top shelf spirits and cocktails served over ice balls. Local craft beers and handcrafted whiskey cocktails round out an adventurous drink menu second to none. And don't forget about our 29-degree man-sized drafts. Are you a fan of Twin Peaks too? Sign up for our e-club to stay up to date on all things Twin Peaks and score free stuff. Come join the fun.
As summer starts to fade, get ready to welcome the arrival of fall. But hey, it's not just football season making an entrance. In the world of pest, it's fall invader season. Hold on tight because we've got 4 major troublemakers stepping into the spotlight. Box elder bugs, kudzu bugs, ladybugs, and stink bugs. These pests don't just knock, they barge in like they own the place. But fear not, dial up Wayne's Pest Control now, 865-588-6686, and let's show those fall invaders who's boss. Don't let pests crash your party. Take charge today.
You want to look great while supporting your favorite show? You know the place to go is the official Next Round store at nextround.store. Yes, there are .store domains, and we have one. From shirts to hoodies to hats and all kinds of fun stuff, you can rep the Next Round anywhere you go. At the beach, Next Round hats to block out that sun. Up north in the winter, get you a comfy Next Round hoodie. Just need something to put your $20 beer in at a game? Get you a Next Round koozie and throw that thing in your pocket. You never know what stuff Jim's going to make me put in there next. Check it out. It's the Next Round store at nextround.store.
T-Bob Hebert coming up in just a second. LT's about to tell us about gutter cap. I will tell you this. Oklahoma State, maybe for the final time this weekend in Bedlam.
I'm excited about that game. I'm never excited about Bedlam.
They played 3 times before Oklahoma was a state.
Wow.
Can you name the other 3 rivalry games that happened before statehood?
Wyoming.
Wyoming doesn't have a rival.
I would say the longest running is Wisconsin and Minnesota, so I would say that one.
Not before statehood, no.
Are they both in the same state?
No, they're out past Oklahoma in states. Remember,
But I mean, are the teams in the same
We had
state?
the Louisiana Purchase.
I'm aware.
They're all in the same state.
Arizona State in the Territorial Cup.
That is one, yes.
I am going to say
let's go UCLA USC.
Yeah, but I mean,
I think California was a state before.
Yeah.
New Mexico State, and Utah State.
You got a good rivalry. It predates statehood, except that Oklahoma State's not a good rivalry.
Tell us about Gutter Cap, and we'll get to T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah, make that phone call today. The worst thing you can do, you don't want to clean the gutters out, especially when it's a little windy out there. It's cold. It's a dirty, dangerous job. You get on the roof, you slip, you fall, you snap the neck and die. You're no good to the wife or kids. Call Chris Stewart today. Cap it, don't snap it. Get the absolutely free estimate, 205-823-2212 or guttercapbirmingham.com.
He's one of our favorites, LSU great, T-Bob Hebert. You see him all over the place now. Radio down in the state of Louisiana, snaps as part of the volume, and he's also on the stadium. I mean, my gosh, I don't know when he ever rests. We're just extremely fortunate he will do our show still.
Yeah, Royal Payne actually writes in and says, over under on when T-Bob forgets one of the platforms he's on, misses his slot, and gets terminated from one of his 100 platforms.
Thank God he didn't forget us. What is up, T-Bob? How are you?
Do you have a scheduler?
Oh, what's up, you bastards? Y'all ready to get your ass kicked in T-Town tomorrow? Because I'm feeling a little hungry, and it's looking like we got some Alabama on the menu. What better way to kick off turkey season than when feasting on the flesh of a declining empire? And let's be painfully clear about that, boys. You know I'm a fan of history, right?
Yes.
Nobody ever wants to be alive during civilizational decline, right? Like being in England when suddenly the Roman Empire retreats, and just a generation later, you're looking at all of these bathhouses and these statues, these temples. You're like, my God, who made these? What sort of technology did they have? These giants among men, these wise and old. Like, how in the world are human beings capable of this? Well, guess what, Alabama? That's you, okay? That is you. Let's be painfully clear. You've already been cucked by Kirby. Brian Kelly beat you last year, 2 out of 4, about to be 2 in a row, and 3 out of 5. And look, and you're on the cusp of not winning a national championship in 3 years for the first time ever in the Saban era in Tuscaloosa. And look, I get it, right? The same way that progress is not always linear, right? Sometimes you take a step back to take 2 forward. Decline is not always linear. And so maybe there's a last gasp for somewhere in Alabama in there. Maybe you sneak another natty somewhere in there. But I need every one of you Tide fans listening right now. I need you to really hear me here. And I need you to understand this, because this is terrifying, but it's true. And you got to accept it. Every one of you listening will die. Your heart will stop. You will be dead in the ground, heaven, hell, reincarnation, whatever the hell you believe in. I don't care. You will be dead and you will never experience what you've currently just gone through these last 20 years. Full stop. Doesn't matter. You have that awful knowledge that, like an athlete that never finds his identity when he gets done playing, you have already peaked. You will never experience the consistent greatness that you have had over the last 20, no matter what. It ain't happening. So literally anything you eat from here on out will be less than for the golden meals that you've stuffed in your fat little gut for the past 20 years, okay? So, again, decline, the downward trend. It's only going to continue. Saban's eventually retire. You're never going to hire anybody who's going to come close to sniffing him. And for the rest of your life, you're just going to look back on the 2010s as what a great time it was. If only you could get back there. But again, you never will. You'll die before you ever will. And on the other hand, LSU's on the up and up, on the come up. BK's coming for that natty. It's a process, and the process continues by beating that Alabama stanky ass in T-Town tomorrow.
Hey, good use of the word process, so appreciate you using the Alabama vocabulary there. 5-3, I will tell you that your ancestors told me the same thing back in 1980 about Bear Bryant, and Alabama would never see anything better than Bear Bryant again. Oh, wait a second. Let me look at my Gucci watch here. We just lived through it, 5-3. We just lived through something better than Bryant.
Oh, okay. So, I want you to hold on to that hope, Jim. I want you to hold on every single day as you get older and you get one step closer to the grave. I want you to hold on to the hope that you're going to find somebody better than Nick Saban. And then at your funeral, I'll stand over your body and we'll see who was right. We'll see who was correct.
It's a date.
I'll lay a rose on your casket as I chuckle under my breath.
Hey, it does feel different. We were talking about this earlier. I mean, Alabama used to dick whip teams, and they were up 21-0 after the first quarter, and they have trailed at halftime 4 times this year. And if LSU does, in fact, win this game Saturday night, this will be multiple regular season losses in back-to-back years for Nick Saban.
Look, there are a million, in all seriousness, there are a million metrics that we could look at that it is a decline in Alabama. Obviously, we all know that, right? But they're still in a fine spot. 1 loss, control their own destiny. The road to a national championship is very clear. Now it involves things like beating Georgia and everything else. So, like, it's worse. But again, it's only worse because of the extreme heights in which you occupied. Like, for most teams would desperately want to be where Alabama is. And I'll say this is what actually worries me most about Alabama this year, is you have a Nick Saban that appears to be completely rejuvenated by actually having to be in legitimate fistfights, right? Do you know how awful it has to be to try to motivate from ahead when you're doing the murder ball thing and you're beating teams 50-0? Do you know how awful it has to be to try to find an edge there, right? And try to, like, sell your team on the idea that you're not good enough or you're not this or that. Like, it's way easier when you're actually in a fight. You're actually tasting a little blood. Your adrenaline's actually going. You're not having to fake it. Like, you're actually just experiencing that feeling. And to me, as flawed as this Alabama team is, I think in a weird, paradoxical way, it's actually given Saban life, because he's going back to what he used to know, which were competitive games sort of week in and week out. And he's getting back to sort of the climb that made him great in the first place. So as far as Saban goes, he remains as, I think, dangerous and, quite frankly, energetic as ever. And look, this is going to be a game that puts to the test the old cliche, whether or not you really are just as strong as your weakest link. Because LSU has the stronger strong link, but they without a doubt have the weaker weakest link. And so what ends up folding, being the difference there? Well, we gonna see.
T-Bob Hebert is with us at T-Bob53 on Twitter. He's on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. LSU's defense has improved since Ole Miss, or they've just played Auburn and Army's offense since Ole Miss? Which is more true?
I mean, a mixture, right? Yeah. Like no doubt. I would say also, though, the second half against Mizzou was pretty good, especially by LSU standards. It was actually, like, dominant, right? But that's the only time in which I think you've had a good offense this year that you've handled well. That said, the problems against Ole Miss were so astronomically bad, like so day one, just what the hell are you doing bad, like guys not doing simple jobs, that if nothing else, the basic understanding of responsibility and do your job appears to be improving. But I mean, guys, I'm not going to sell you a bill of goods on this LSU defense. You're talking about a defense that ranked dead last for the majority. So y'all know what stop rate is? Very simple defensive metric. Yeah. Just, when the other team touches the ball, do they score or not? Bam. Super easy, right? LSU was dead last in the Power 5 for over half the season. They were, I think, 120-something out of 130 for a while there. And now they're down to 3 true freshman corners and Sage Ryan, safety, trying to play on the outside, none of who are very good. Now you're out an All-American defensive lineman for the rest of the season in Mekhi Wingo. So it's a bit of a weird thing, though, right? Where it's like, okay, if the defense was already crap, then all this is taking more excrement and piling it on the heap. Like, yeah, sure, maybe you got slightly worse where you're already bad, but does that really matter as much as just the offense showing up? That's, again, the classic push-pull that we're going to try to discover this weekend. Because make no mistake, Alabama's offense is their weakness, but it is not nearly as bad as what the LSU defense has been. I mean, hell, Jalen Milroe is the second highest rated passer in the SEC, top 10 in the entire country. So it's a fascinating matchup. And to me, it all kind of hinges on that LSU offensive line and whether or not they can control the front seven. And if they can, and if LSU can run the ball effectively, then I think Alabama's in trouble. If that's not the case, then I would put the power back over to the Tide.
So when it comes to the LSU defense, it's like the Titanic, a great boat, except for those damn icebergs. I get it.
Yeah. I mean, even to give the LSU defense Titanic status, though, is like, that's even not. I mean, they're not deserving of that, though, right? It's like it's like a shoddily constructed, just horrible boat that you and your friends tried to make over one summer and then take out to sail. I mean, they're awful. Like make no mistake, they've done slightly better lately, but they have been awful for the majority of the year.
A serious question. How many possessions do you think LSU gets in this football game? Because I have a feeling Nick Saban's going to try to keep that number as small as possible.
Yeah, I mean, you would think if you're just game planning that Alabama running the ball and trying to control the clock would be part and parcel with putting their best game plan against Jaden Daniels, right? What's the average possessions now in a game post rule changes?
I would
like 10.
I would guess 10, 9 or 10.
Yeah. 8 to 10, maybe 9 to 10. Yeah, I mean, if you get that number down to like 8, well, then that's a significant advantage for Alabama there. One thing about the LSU defense, if I did want to give them some credit, is that they have been pretty good against running teams. In terms of like, well, I mean, look, Mississippi State's complete garbage, right? But they did well there. They did well against Auburn, Army's whatever. But like, if you're just looking at when they've been exploited, it hasn't been as often on the ground as it has been through the air. So maybe I think with this Alabama offense, the real key is, and everybody knows this, they've made a lot of hay with their explosivity. I think you got to force Alabama to play underneath you, try to sustain drives, and they will make mistakes. However, the catch-22 there is if you try to lean on that and then they do sustain drives, well, then you've taken away from Jaden Daniels, right? And then you're kind of hurting your offensive chances. So turns out when you have an awful Achilles heel, it's pretty bad. Like it's a weakness that can be exploited. And that's exactly what LSU has. They have Achilles in the form of Jaden Daniels in this incredible offense. And then that freaking thing on the back of their leg, that's the defense.
Yeah. All of a sudden, I think he's talked himself into the bathhouses are still open for the Roman Empire. He's talked himself back
Alabama
into
can suck on D's. How about that? Look, you're talking about an Alabama team again, guys. While it's this is not the Alabama of old. Already you're seeing it. You're losing by 10 points at home to Texas, a bad Texas team, not even a good Texas team. I mean, that's the biggest takeaway from the college football playoff. The Big 12 doesn't even control their own destiny. That's what a pathetic conference it is. They're the only conference that can't get into the Final Four if everybody else does their job.
Hey,
even with that Alabama win that Steve Sarkisian's out here filleting himself to. So, no, look, you're 10 at home to Texas. The quarterback situation's a joke. You got Tommy Reese as your OC. You use some evil necromantic magic to give life to the old windbag that is Kevin Steele and brought that court stumbling out of wherever you found him to be your DC. I mean, like, even like that's the sad part about Alabama. Even if you win on Saturday, it's still all over, boys. It's still all over. Kirby done cucked you. He took everything from you, and he's left you nothing behind except for Jalen Milroe and Tommy Reese.
Hey, T-Bob, we know fans are crazy, but is there an optimism with LSU fans? Because I agree with you. I think the Big 12, and I think it could be this weekend. I think Oklahoma State can knock off Oklahoma. K-State takes down Texas. Big 12 dirt on top. But is there optimism amongst LSU fans? They win this game, win out, beat undefeated Georgia. They could become that 2-loss team in the final year of a 14 playoff getting in.
There's optimism in that, like, if your favorite team did that run, of course you'd be like, you have to put the SEC champion in, right? I don't think it would happen. It would take 07 levels of chicanery to make that come about. So, no, I think a 2-loss LSU does not make the playoff, and I think a 1-loss Georgia should not make the playoff, which is why I want LSU to do it, because F the SEC. Burn it all down. I don't want anybody to have success. I want LSU to play pure agent of chaos here and to completely ruin the SEC's chances going into this last Final Four. Let all the other conferences make it. Let the Big Ten get 2 teams in. I don't give a damn. As long as Alabama and Georgia don't go, that'll make me and many others a happy camper.
It is T-Bob Hebert, at T-Bob53 on Twitter. He is the center of attention. You can catch he and Aaron Murray on Snaps as well on Volume. Just go to the Volume website. Go to the, I don't know, man.
Yeah, no, look,
go to Try to Sound Smart.
/@VolumeSnaps.
There you go.
YouTube.com/@VolumeSnaps. And then check out Rivals Down South with me and AJ McCarron on Stadium, even though AJ, it turns out, like right after he started the show, started working for the Bengals again.
Yeah,
so we only get him like Tuesdays and Fridays. But still, I've gotten some fascinating Nick Saban and Alabama insight from AJ, as obviously he's as tuned in as anyone is with what's going on with the Tide.
Yep. Always fun, T-Bob. Thank you very much for the time. Have a great weekend.
Thank y'all, boys.
All right, buddy.
Look, man, make sure to send me pictures when y'all are upset tomorrow.
Okay.
Or Saturday. Whatever it is,
Yeah,
okay?
Saturday.
All the tears.
Yeah, we'll send you the tear photos.
Oh, I need your studio address, because if LSU loses, our friends at Blakely's Bouquets, I'm sending you a funeral arrangement.
Oh, bro, that's the thing, though. You can't hurt me. What do they say in Game of Thrones? What is drowned may never die, or what is dead may never die. Like, I mean, you can't kill me. We're fine. We lost 8 of these things in a row. What's one more? We won 2 in the last 4. Who gives a damn? But you, on the other hand, better not lose 2 in a row to BK. You boys, take it easy.
See you, T-Bob. T-Bob Hebert with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. That is always an experience.
Our friends at the Maestro Dobel Diamante Tequila. Absolutely the best in the business right there. 100% pure agave, a natural process that gives it a soft yet robust agave flavor, enhanced through the notes of the wood, the Eastern European oak barrels that it's aged in right there. You can't beat Maestro Dobel Diamante Tequila. Ask for it by name. When you're out and about, say, hey, give me a shot of Maestro Dobel, and enjoy it. It is unbelievable tequila right there. He brings up a lot of points. Brings up a lot of good points. When we come back, we'll get to our stock report. We'll also talk about a phone call that Jim Harbaugh was part of. Jim Harbaugh was asked to hang up.
Oh, boy.
And they continued the conversation with the other Big Ten coaches for over an hour.
Coach, could need you to disconnect for a moment.
We'll get into that.
You can always trust him to do that.
We'll get into that when we come back on the show that's brought to you today in part by our friends at Milo's. We tried the chicken fingers last week. I would
good.
I would eat the bottom out of a bag of chicken fingers right now from our friends at Milo's. Would you not as well? They've also got the loaded fries, the classic crinkle cut fries with the queso, bacon, and jalapenos. That's the Mexa fries. And then the saucy fries is 100% pure ground beef, grilled onions, Milo sauce, and queso on top of that. You download the Milo's mobile app, use the promo code NEXTROUND, and get a lot of cool discounts there. Again, Milo's mobile app, use the promo code NEXTROUND, and get a lot of cool discounts, whether it's for the loaded fries or maybe for those wonderful chicken fingers with all the great sauces right there with our friends at Milo's. Download that app today. Back in a moment.
Call the Next Round now at 205-734-0923.
If you're from here, you know the best time of golf in Alabama is the fall. That means it's time for golf at Timberline, a short drive from Montgomery or Birmingham. Go to TimberlineGC.com, TimberlineGC.com to book your tee times, schedule a lesson, or just drop by and use the TrackMan technology on the driving range. The course is always fun, in great shape, and you can even become a member. Get all the details at TimberlineGC.com. It's time to get your golf on with our friends at Timberline.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round. You've heard me for years talk about our friends at Bromberg's Jewelers, and we welcome you to stop by and see that great customer service at the Mountain Brook and Summit locations, but we'd also love for you to check out their new online shop. They've got plenty to choose from. Great gifts, big and small. Available online, they've got David Yurman, Tudor watches, select diamond and gemstone jewelry, William Henry, seasonal and favorite giftware items and baby gifts as well. They've even got an online sale section. For more information, Brombergs.com.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
It's time to start thinking about employee holiday gifts. Consider getting your hardworking guys a pair of Red Wing boots. Each day, your employees are on the job site helping your company succeed, so reward them with comfort at its best. The Red Wing mobile shoe truck can visit your shop and fit your employees with a great selection of boots. Or Red Wing gift cards can be purchased at your local Red Wing store, available in all amounts. Whichever program you choose, your employees will appreciate the quality, service, and selection from Red Wing shoes, and they'll also be thankful they have such a great boss. Reward your employees this holiday season with Red Wing shoes.
Hey, if you're looking for Birmingham's best pizza, you need to stop in and see our friends at Slice Pizza and Brew. It's as local as you can get, from the ingredients that go into every pizza to the beer on tap. For a great lunch or dinner, go see our friends today, Vestavia or Lakeview at Slice.
Do you need extra cash handy? Look no further than Legacy Credit Union for whatever loan your lifestyle requires. It only takes a few minutes to apply and request the amount you need to give you peace of mind. With affordable low rates and manageable payback plans, a Legacy Lifestyle loan is crafted just for you. Apply online today at legacycreditunion.com/join. Lifestyle loans from Legacy. Terms and conditions may apply. Legacy is federally insured by the NCUA.
The Next Round golf cart is back and is presented by Urology Centers of Alabama. For $89, play Limestone Springs, Cross Creek, The Meadows, and the renovated Woodward Golf Club. $247 in value for just $89. Or get bonus gifts with the Deluxe Golf Card for $119. No restrictions, good through September of 2024, but supplies are limited. Buy right now at nextround.store.
Our friends at Redmond bringing us the show today. We'll get to Rockstar's 4 Downs here. Then we'll talk about the Big Ten and do our stock report in the next segment. Redmond getting you ready for another big weekend. Starting tonight, triple header in college football and, of course, the NFL.
Yeah, pick up a bottle of Redmond vodka, available in 22 states, locally owned and operated. Charles Barkley, one of the great faces behind that incredible product, 8 times distilled, gluten-free. Ask for it by name. If they don't have it at a local bar or restaurant you're in, make sure you tell them to get it. It is Redmond vodka.
As you're going to mybookie.ag, promo code next round this weekend to place a bet, Notre Dame tight end Mitchell Evans out for the year. He was their leading receiver as they go and play Clemson. He's their tight end, ACL. He's done for the year. Also, Mayan Williams done for the year. He was the big rough running back that led the team with 62 yards in the win over Penn State. But luckily, they got Travion Henderson back last week healthy. And Travion, who's the best of all their backs, had his best game to date.
Yeah, Travion Henderson is a guy that can do it all for Ohio State. And unfortunately, he has battled injury since his freshman year. Mayan Williams was a nice 1-2 punch, and he did a great job of filling in when Travion was out. But this is going to be big. If Ohio State can continue to find their identity offensively with how well they're playing on the defensive side of the ball, I mean, it really has come down to a one-game situation for them at the end of the year against Michigan.
They're 93rd in the nation rushing offense. You just don't expect to see Ohio State. I mean, Alabama's in the 70s, and you're like, holy crap, what's going on? They're 93rd.
Cats and dogs sleeping together there. One more note on the Clemson-Notre Dame game in Clemson this weekend. Last year in South Bend when Notre Dame beat them, Clemson was unbeaten at the time. They were 8-0.
Okay.
Since then, they're now a 7-7 football program. Since that loss last year at Notre Dame, people are saying that loss broke them.
Oh, they're over their last 12 games against Power 5 opponents, they're 5-7.
Yeah, that's what gets Tyler from Spartanburg on the phone, getting after your butt.
It really does.
Yeah.
Our friends at Slice bring you the 4 Downs. Rockstar has the 4 Downs today. Slice is where LT loves to take company when they're in town.
Oh, it's a great place. 4 locations. I spoke with our buddy Jason Bajalia yesterday. Local specialty pizzas from the Soul Pie to the Wing and a Prayer, the Bajalia special. Jeff Bajalia, the late Jeff, the guy that came up with the incredible concept. His brothers Jason and Chris continue this. 4 locations: Vestavia, Montevallo, Lakeview, and now Crestline Park. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
First down.
What comedy is a perfect 10 out of 10 for you?
For me, it would be The Breakfast Club. It is timeless. I think it still has a bunch of elements of what teenagers go through on a day-to-day basis. I think the writing's incredible. I think the acting, the casting, the way it was shot from John Hughes. I thought everything about it was.
Would you call that a dark comedy?
Nope.
Nope.
I mean, there would be some real elements to it.
Yeah,
I mean when you talk about teenage suicide,
yeah, I mean, it had some real.
Yeah,
it had some meat to it.
You're supposed to pull the trunk and the light comes on, but it didn't come on.
It did not come on for him.
Yeah. For me, I like Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Always makes me laugh. A lot of good moments there. Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Anytime that's on.
I heard a interview with Jason Segel. Like, he wrote that movie, and he said that was a true scene. That he said that he was when she breaks up with him, Sarah Marshall. He was butt naked.
Yeah.
And she broke up with him, and he's like, "Can you give me some chance to put some pants on?" She's like, "No,
Yeah.
I'm leaving." He's like,
Yeah.
"That was based on a real life situation."
That's the thing. I never thought it was a 10. I thought it was a really good comedy. Funny.
Right.
I only saw it the last couple of years for the first time, but the full frontal Mel Junk is going to knock it down a point for me.
Wedding Crashers, Caddyshack, Office Space, Life, Animal House, The Hangover. The first one, of course, says Laura. All that coming in the chat room. Brand, what about you?
Life is a good one, though. That is a funny movie. But I was going to say My Cousin Vinny. I just think they nailed all the stereotypes so well, and just so many little bit roles that are hilarious in that movie.
What's a grit?
I know. I mean, just My Cousin Vinny is fantastic, and the guy we used to use at the trash open, the stuttering Jerry. God,
he's a tough one.
He is so funny, man.
Yeah, Old School lost it at the end for me. I don't know what it was, but I loved Old School too.
Yeah, I think them competing for the dean or whatever was a little over the top.
The dancing part, the dancing competition.
There were a little bit of, in a lot of those that I've seen that there's just one or two parts that throw it off.
All right.
I didn't think Animal House held up well.
You don't think it did?
No.
I would agree with you. It's still good in places.
What is the dumbest thing you believed as a kid?
Oh my gosh!
Outside of an imaginary friend, I assume.
Well, for example,
I had one of those.
What makes me think I've done this before is I would watch TV and I thought TV was live. Like Three Amigos was on, and I was watching it. Then I changed the channel and The Jerk is on, and I'm going, how the hell is he doing that? Steve Martin's got to go from one set to another to do, and you have to reenact Three Amigos every time it's on. It's live.
Yeah.
So that really freaked me out. So I didn't understand that. I also thought there was one mailman. I was like, that has got to be the worst job every day, to go to every house in America by yourself. How does he do that?
Yeah.
Wow. 16 was a weird year for me.
Yeah. There a couple of things. So like elevators, when they would come down, like if the elevator shaft broke, well, I figured, you know what? If you jump at the last minute,
That's
you're
right.
going to be fine.
You just land gently.
Yep.
Right?
You're going to be okay on that.
Yeah. Time it out.
Get a little deeper. Soulmates for everybody in the world. Nobody's got a soulmate.
For me, I probably still to this day think that I can influence games by watching them and or not watching them. And
I think it's just betting on them. It's how you
No, I think there is something. I think superstition when it comes to sports. We did a mystery fifth hour on this. I think there is something to that.
Like I was sitting in one place during the what game was it? Alabama Ole Miss game. It was Alabama Ole Miss. I did not go to that game. I was watching in my sports room, and I was sitting in one place. It was not going well in the first half. Second half, I moved to my beanbag. Yes, I still have a big body beanbag, and I'm sitting in my beanbag. And Maddie called and wanted to run over and get something real quick. And I ran out. So Alabama's playing good. And I ran outside and I told her, "Are you here yet?" And she's like, "I'm turning into your neighborhood now." I said, "Hurry up. I got to get back into my lucky seat. Alabama's playing well right now." And she's like, "Beg your pardon?" And I had to explain to her that I felt like I was influencing the game and I needed to get back up there, that the commercial break was about to end.
Thank you for your service.
Boy, somebody would have got blamed if that would have gone south.
Boy, no joke. No joke.
Third down.
If you could bring back one extinct animal species, what would it be?
I looked at a couple of these. I didn't realize, I didn't know the dodo bird was really.
That's been gone
It's
for a
gone?
while. I think.
Oh, yeah?
What killed it?
It was not very smart.
Gonorrhea.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was.
I didn't realize how many.
Columbus.
We've got 5 different, e.g., if you're listening, 5 different types of rhinos that are now extinct.
Why does EG? Is she a big rhino person?
No,
she's trying to be on Jeopardy.
She's learning to be on Jeopardy.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I was thinking, and this is just a weird thought I had, was like, it's been extinct for a very long time, but if we still had a woolly mammoth, Would there be a professional franchise that were the woolly mammoths?
Probably. The problem, like a woolly mammoth looks cool, a saber-toothed tiger, those seem like things that can do damage. I don't know if I want to bring, like the velociraptor, I don't know if I want to bring back things that could do damage.
But I'm just thinking,
the
like,
woolly mammoth with all that hair, that has got to smell.
Oh, I'm sure it smells awful. But I mean, like this weekend when they say, hey, don't forget, late game on CBS, woolly mammoths are at the Seahawks. I mean, do you think there would be a pro team named a woolly mammoth?
Oh, 100%.
It'd probably be the mammoths.
The mammoths?
Not the mastodons.
The mastodons.
Fourth down.
I'm just floored by the dodo bird. I thought that was a real thing.
It was a real thing. It's gone. Of the three of you, who do you think has eaten the most slices of pizza in the past 10 years?
I would say Dunaway eats the most.
Oh, no.
Well, I was going to go you.
Yeah, I don't eat a lot of pizza.
I love it, but I get it maybe once every 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, see, I do it during the fall, I do it on Saturdays when I'm at home, but this will be the third Saturday. We talked about this third game I've been to in a football season for the first time in a decade. I still do slice every 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, I may have had slice.
But I don't eat. I only have like 3 or 4 pieces when I eat. I think, don't you eat a whole pizza?
I can eat a whole slice pizza, but I don't. I haven't had slice this football season. I tried a off-brand. That was
Welcome to Off-Brand. What do you want?
Not as good.
Yeah, pepperoni.
And, I only ate half a slice of that and threw the rest of it away.
Yeah, I mean, it might be me. I would have said you because I thought you went to slice a lot.
Yeah.
When I do, sometimes I get a salad and a slice, but that's just one slice.
I probably eat pizza once every 2 weeks. I love pizza.
Yeah,
it's just,
that's about me. I'm about every 2 weeks.
About once every 2 weeks.
See, I love pizza. I just don't get it a lot because it goes right to my hips.
I've noticed. I didn't want to say anything.
Yeah. I love pizza, though. It's great.
Well, that's 4 of them. We did 4 today.
All 4 downs.
And 4 locations. The original Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park, local pizza, local ingredients. Get it today. Go see the Bedalia Brothers. It's Slice.
I am the guy who goes in to great pizza places and will check out other things on the menu.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Like great salad and great pasta at Slice.
Did you order chicken fingers at a steakhouse?
Oh, they've got great wood-fired. I've gotten this several times at Slice.
The wings, but that's supposed to be an appetizer.
Oh, that's a whole meal for me sometimes. I just throw that salad in there. So I like to go in there and
throw a salad.
You'll find some good sandwiches sometimes, or some good pasta dishes at a good pizza place. So I try to sometimes go off menu.
You remember that pizza we had in Ocean City? That was good.
Yep.
Was that the last time you ate pizza?
No, I had it. We did one game, Bud Light game night at Slice this year. So I had Slice one time this football season. It was there that night. I did not eat a whole pizza, but I did have 2 slices that night. So good. So I could eat it right now and every day. All right, top of the hour here. When we come back, what went on in the Big Ten, plus our stock report, trash, and Trent Dilfer still to come on the show. That is being brought to you by the great folks at Bromberg's LT.
Since 1836, family owned and operated. If you're thinking about popping the question, they are your diamond specialists. 2 locations, Mountain Brook and the Summit. Stop by, go see the fine folks at Bromberg's Jewelers. Nothing like giving or getting that silver box. For more information on all their great gift ideas, go to brombergs.com.
Everything Alabama, all the time. Subscribe and set alerts at Roll Tide Pods on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
Football season is here, and Legacy Credit Card is just what you need to manage your spending safely and wisely. Credit cards offer better consumer protection against fraud when compared to a debit card, which is linked directly to your bank account. Legacy offers rates as low as 8.9% APR on credit cards compared to major card providers who advertise rates as high as 29% APR. Look no further than Legacy. Open a credit card online in minutes at legacycreditunion.com/join. APR's annual percentage rate, rates, and offers subject to change. See website for details. Federally insured by NCUA.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters, it's the will to prepare to win." Bryant bankers have the dedication and experience to put together a financial game plan that's right for you. Stop by one of the 7 Central Alabama locations today or give them a call at 1-855-4-BRYANT to begin preparing for your financial future today. You'll find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about. Bryant Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
The Next Round is so much more than the show you get from 9 to 1 each day. So make sure to head to our official YouTube channel at Next Round Live and subscribe to get all of our latest content. We, of course, have plenty of specialty content and shorts based all around the sports in the heart of the SEC. But we also talk pro sports, gambling, lifestyle and entertainment, and so much more. It's the Next Round YouTube channel where you never know what you're going to find next. Subscribe now to see the latest content and get notifications when we go live. That's at Next Round Live on YouTube.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
A couple of shows to tell you about and some social media stuff today. If you're in the Tuscaloosa area, 3 to 4 Central Time today, we'll be with our friends at Coca-Cola at the Standard over in Tuscaloosa today. We'll have some tickets for a future Alabama football game maybe to give away to you today, and a lot of good stuff going on at the Standard. It is right there in Tuscaloosa, 3 to 4 Central there today. All of us will be there for that. It should be a whole lot of fun over there. And then tonight, we're at the Battery in Homewood for Bud Light game night. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. We're there 5 to 7. 5-ish to 7. Obviously, there's a little travel time before the Standard to the Battery, but we'll be there tonight for Bud Light game night. We do that every Thursday with our friends at Bud Light. QR code there to where you can jump into the drawing for Alabama and Auburn tickets at the end of the year. All that happening today. This hour of the show being brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. If you're looking for a great place to go grab a little lunch today, Champy's Chicken is open for you right now. Sterling and the crew ready to give you those hand-cut chicken fingers, perfect for the tailgate or for kids' parties or anything going on at work. Also, the cook-to-order fried chicken, the Southern fried chicken, brined overnight, wonderful white meat. My wife calls it the juiciest dark meat she's ever had. And the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. It's all right there. Champy'sChicken.com, perfect for your tailgate. Champy'sChicken.com. Okay, the Big Ten, Tony Petitti is the Big Ten commissioner. He has his normal call with the coaches, and they discuss their business. That part takes about 30 minutes. Okay. With the football coaches, the business of the conference and all that, blah, 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 blah. Then Jim Harbaugh is asked to step off so the other Big Ten coaches can speak freely. And according to ESPN, sources who were on the call or close to the call, the coaches were described as intense, as emotional. They were frustrated that nothing was being done by the Big Ten and the commissioner to Michigan. It lasted almost another hour after Harbaugh got off, according to ESPN, that their wins the last 3 years, the coaches used phrases like tainted, fraudulent, unprecedented. One coach said every game they've won the last 3 years is tainted.
Well, it's ass whippings is what it is.
Yep. So you don't think they're tainted at all, fraudulent at all?
Maybe. I just know that investigations last a little bit longer than this. And I know we're in a society now where you are guilty until proven innocent. And I am by no means, and I was the first when you guys used to like Harbaugh. I have never been a Harbaugh fan at all. But I think this takes a little bit longer. There's no precedent. There is nothing you can do right now. There is nothing you can do.
The Big Ten is the only one technically that can do anything right now. There is a sportsmanship code that they could use to enact a penalty now. And that is, according to ESPN, what these other coaches were wanting done. They want you to penalize them now. They're actually surprised that something hasn't been done already since the information has come out. Again, from ESPN, they said the coaches were saying, what are you waiting on? You've got the evidence. You've got video evidence. What are we waiting on? Nothing's going to change.
What do they want done?
Oh, I'm sure they want forfeits. Probably Harbaugh suspended. And the Big Ten does not want to do this because the one thing they do not want to do is jeopardize Michigan's chances of making the college football playoff. Because if they are ineligible for some reason and they turn around and beat Ohio State, what's that do for you?
Yeah, look, I'm not saying this is right at all. I just don't think there's a precedent. I think there's still an investigation going on. It looks like you've got smoking guns when you see Connor Stallions on the sideline. But I don't know what you do. Like, punishing the players doesn't seem fair. Punishing Harbaugh, well, if you want to blow him out and suspend him, maybe do that, but I don't think it's really going to affect the games.
But you know the way it always works historically is if the NCAA does it, they'll do it next year to, probably a different coach and to a different group of players and a different team.
Yeah, well, there is something, Brown, real quick, where the NFL, there has been a conversation where the NFL would have some sort of penalty waiting on Jim Harbaugh. Again, this is unprecedented stuff, but I have heard that.
Yeah, they go back to Jim Tressel when he took an NFL, it was not a head coaching job, obviously, but a lot of people thought he was skipping out on college punishment to go to the NFL, and he had to serve a 7-game suspension. I think it was Ian Rappaport.
Why would they do that and they didn't do it to Pete Carroll?
Huh? Oh, I don't know what the I don't,
because it was a recruiting thing and Tressel was something
I really
else.
don't know.
Yeah, me either.
But there have been, I think it was Ian Rappaport that even reported the NFL could go as far as to block him from being a head coach. It seems, and see, this is why it would be different than a Pete Carroll situation or even a Jim Tressel situation. Is this is actual, if proven guilty, this is actually, it's not recruiting violations.
Right.
This is cheating during the actual play of the game.
Cheating to decide the outcome of the game.
Cheating to decide the outcome of the game, which obviously has always been taken more seriously than just recruiting infractions or something like that.
It seems to rise to a
there's
different
no
standard,
doubt it does.
right?
Yeah, there's no doubt it does. You've broken a code. Like, I mean, I don't know. I'm with Lance. I don't know what these coaches expect the Big Ten to do. Okay, they're gonna forfeit the game to you.
Yeah.
I mean, what's that going to do for Brett Bielema, Illinois coach?
Another source telling ESPN that Tony Petitti was shocked and surprised that the coaches were this upset.
I mean, I don't know why that surprised him.
Okay, but let's just look at some of these coaches. Greg Schiano. You lost by 24 points. Matt Rule, you lost by 38 points.
Another coach.
PJ Fleck, you lost by 42 points. Yeah. Tom Allen, you lost by 45 points.
Yeah.
Michigan State, doesn't really matter, lost by 49 points.
Imagine if they didn't have a sign.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but as one coach told ESPN, imagine if you know, just simple, you don't have to know what the play is, just whether it's a run or a pass.
I mean, that definitely helps.
How huge of an advantage is that?
I think it's an advantage, but it doesn't lead to the outcomes of these games.
No, and I don't think it's really about the outcomes of the games. I think it's more about, I need you to show me that Michigan and Rutgers are playing on the same level as far as the way the Big Ten views us. We're not as good a team as Michigan. I get that if I'm Greg Schiano. But I need you to show me that you're going to treat Rutgers and Michigan the same way as the Big Ten commissioner. I think that's what a lot of it is. Like, I'm sure Greg Schiano's probably sitting there thinking, if I had gotten caught doing this as the Rutgers coach, I'd be fired, penalized, suspended by now. He's not, because he's the Michigan coach.
And he's in the hunt for a championship.
I guarantee you that's the way that phone call went.
Everybody outside of Michigan is pulling against Michigan,
There's
and
no
I
doubt.
get that. But to me, it seems like this is going to be galvanizing, and I think Michigan internally is like, everybody's out to get us. Let's keep flexing. And now Michigan has been able to do this. We talk about Georgia playing up and down to their competition. And look, different situation because Michigan hasn't won back-to-back championships. But Michigan is going out, and they're playing 60 minutes every single week.
Yeah.
And now they've got this big part of the schedule coming up with Penn State and Ohio State in a Big Ten championship game. I think Michigan is going to be a major problem. I saw somebody over in the Vulcan Tire and Automotive chat room saying they've got multiple losses coming up. I don't see it.
This is Royal Pain brings up Watergate. It is a lot like Watergate, where Nixon and his people were going to all these lengths to get dirt on a candidate they were going to beat by 20 million votes. It was like that was one of the most surprising things about it is you were going to destroy this. They did. They did destroy the guy. It was after the election that everything came to a head. They were going to destroy the guy, and Michigan's the same way. I don't think they had to do this to be this much better than
not
with
this schedule. Not with this schedule. And I think what is interesting, if it goes back to last year, and they really were in cahoots with other teams like a South Carolina, whoever that team was, to try to eliminate teams they might face in a college football playoff. That's where it gets really deep.
Yeah, and as people are pointing out, Nick, TCU used it to their advantage. They knew they had been tipped off that they had been cheating. And stealing signs. So we ran fake signs. And
that burned them because I think they would have. I mean, when they got adjusted, they're the better team than TCU. They play the game 9 out of 10 times. They win that game.
Yeah.
They win that game 9 out of 10 times.
I think it was on one of our shows that I saw it on? I can't remember. I watched so much stuff. I can't remember where I saw it now, but somebody was telling the story of Peyton Manning. It was on our show yesterday, I believe. Peyton Manning, which was known for using the gun signal. It was Barrett Jones. He told us this story yesterday, LT. You were not here yet. Barrett Jones said he was known for doing like a grenade launcher or a rocket launcher off his shoulder when he was going to throw it deep. So Peyton Manning was smart enough that after he did that one time to throw it deep, the next time they knew that he was going to fake the deep throw and throw it underneath. So he would use you stealing his signs or learning his signs during the game to his advantage.
Yep.
So it's crazy.
I mean, do you guys think anything happens this year?
I do not.
I just don't know how it does.
No. And I will go back to something you said, Jim, when you said penalize the players. I just don't know what penalty would be impacting the players.
Well, I mean, if you wait until next year.
Yeah, but there'll be no penalty on the players. Your only penalty will be the coach.
Well, if you end up penalizing them and making them not bowl eligible, playoff eligible, something like that.
I don't think you would do that because it's not the players had nothing to do with it.
And in today's college football, the problem you risk right there is the mass exodus.
Yeah.
Like if I've only got a year or two left and I want to play for championships and my game's going to be meaningless, I'm getting the hell out of here.
Yeah, I really think every penalty in the NCAA would hand down would just be on the coaches and administrators.
Now, I know
that's going to impact the players, but there's nothing you can do about that.
He would never get into this publicly. I would love to know how Greg Sankey as a commissioner would handle this. Because these guys have run this in their mind. Like, how do you properly do this?
And I'm sure,
Greg, one of the smartest guys out there, would have a plan already in place, and you just wonder how they would implement that.
50 anonymous FBS head coaches in the Athletic. The Athletic did a poll of 50 FBS head coaches, not named, anonymous. 94% of them think this rises to a different level than anything they've seen in college football and thinks they should be penalized. 94% of the 50 in the Athletic poll. You see that at the Athletic.
Got no problem with them being penalized, but what's the penalty? When's the penalty?
Part of the show today being brought to you by our friends at Way to Wellness. They bring you our spotlight today, which is the stock report. Way to Wellness is Leslie's place. Leslie and her board-certified team. Listen, weight loss is important, but also things like high blood pressure, cholesterol can cause massive problems in your life. Our friends at Way to Wellness can get a plan through your diet that could help those numbers a little bit and also jumpstart your weight loss. All you have to do is go to their website at planforme.com, and you'll get details how every plan is designed specifically for you. Doctor on site, board certified folks who oversee your weight loss and your diet. Great nutritional bars. Got one right here I'm going to try later on. This one tastes like the 100 Grand bar. It's got the caramel crunch right here. Beautiful, beautiful snacks you can throw in there that helps you with your weight loss and your controlling of blood pressure and cholesterol numbers. Get more details, planforme.com, planforme.com. No contracts, no sign-up fees, and your consultation's free. It's Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living.
The College Football Spotlight.
Stock up. Stock down. College football stock report.
All right, Brownie, start us off, man.
I'm going to go to Bedlam for my stock report. Both of these are in Bedlam, and
Up and down.
It is an
Up and down.
It is
Okay.
an interesting storyline to this game. My stock up is old Ollie.
Ollie.
Ollie Oxenfree.
Did we have a barbecue place here in town?
We did.
Ollie's?
Ollie's, yeah.
They had the vinegar-based sauce, which I like a thicker sauce.
Yeah. I'm with you. I was never a big fan of the sauce.
It's got a good flavor, but when it rolls right off, I'd rather something stick a little
I
bit.
kind of liked Ollie's. I wasn't crazy about the sauce. I'm with Lance. I'm not a big vinegar-based guy. After rushing 7 times, 9 times, and 3 times in their first 3 games, he has since picked up just a little bit. He leads the nation in rushing. He barely touched the ball in the first 3 football games of the season. Leads the nation now in rushing with 1,087 yards. And he's catching Oklahoma's defense at a good time. Do you think Oklahoma's defense was good last year? Do you think it was good last year, Oklahoma's defense?
No, it was not.
They gave up 30 points a game last year. That's not good. The last time I checked.
It's not, no.
You know what they've given up over the last 4 games?
Oh, they look a lot like last year, so I'm going to guess 30.
29.5. They're
Oh.
right back where they were last year, and they're about to go play the leading rusher in the nation. That feels like a bad recipe in the final Bedlam.
LT, up and down.
My stock up is Kansas State. Look, big game this weekend against a backup quarterback in Malik Murphy. But when you look at K-State, they're rolling right now. They're doing it with a 2-quarterback situation or 2-quarterback system. But over their last 2 games, they've outscored both Houston and TCU 82-3. And if you go back to the win over Texas Tech, they have not allowed a touchdown in 9 consecutive Big 12 games. When did you guys think there would ever be a time in the Big 12 where a team would go 9 consecutive quarters without allowing the touchdown? That is what Chris Kleiman's Wildcats are doing. And A&M, stock down. I know they're coming off a win, but did you guys realize this? More amazing stat that I came across today. They have now lost 8 consecutive road games. There are only 3 teams in college football that currently have more consecutive road losses. That would be, and this is nuts, Northwestern, Temple, and Hawaii.
Not even
They
Vanderbilt.
are in the same company as Northwestern, Temple, and Hawaii.
Wow.
Stock down for A&M.
At least Hawaii gets to fly back to the islands when they lose.
Hey, when you hear that number, does it make A&M as only a 3-point underdog in Oxford seem a little light?
I know. That's why I like Texas A&M to win that game outright. It'll be a early play at mybookie.ag by Jimmy Righteous Gemstone this weekend.
Are you in the red or the black right now?
I'm holding. I'll have to check, but I think I still have triple digits. I think I'm still at $100 or above. Mine is Ducks recruiting. They flipped 5-star Tucson, Arizona edge rusher Elijah Rushing, his last name. What a great last name.
Oh, wow.
Flipped
It needs
him.
to be a running back.
Now, according to our friends at On3 Sports, Oregon is 6th in the country in recruiting, only behind Georgia, Ohio State, Florida State, Alabama, and then you get the Oregon Ducks. Dan Lanning doing a great job recruiting. Stock down the USC Trojans, not for the reason you think, but bringing in mybookie.ag. USC has not covered in 6 straight games now. I don't think they do it again this weekend.
You don't think they do it against Washington?
No, Washington beats USC's eyes out this weekend.
Wow.
Not even close. They can't make the point spread high enough.
Beat their eyes out game of the year from Dunaway.
Washington blows out USC
LT,
this weekend.
how you feel about
Good
that?
to hear. Look, I don't have a lot of confidence in USC right now, but
Beat
that
their
makes
eyes
me
out?
feel better.
How are they going to cover
Well,
those
Washington's
great
not playing
Washington
great.
receivers?
I mean, Washington's last 2 games have not been that impressive.
Odunze against that USC.
Oh, that's a mismatch for them.
Michael Penix Jr. against that USC
Washington
defense.
favored 3 in that one on the road.
Just 3?
At the Mausoleum, yeah.
Skinny
How about that
number.
total? 76.5, Lance. That's a big number.
That is.
LT, I would take that all the way up to 4.5 and give you USC for a stake.
Okay.
Okay. Make it, put it on the sheet.
Put it on the sheet.
We got another one that's about to cash.
Washington minus 4.5 for me. Purple Rain. Purple Rain.
Hey, was that
Prince just in
was
here?
that Prince? No, you weren't playing that?
We
that
can't
was
play the
Jim.
original. Can't play the
No.
original.
I don't think
That's
we're
our
gonna get
stock
that.
report
That was so close.
today. The show's also being brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill. Somebody called me last night while you guys were heading for Mexican food. A friend of mine was there and he was leaving. Said, "Hey, I just saw Brownie and LT. Do you know a good plumber?" And I said, "Yes, I do."
Speaking of Brownie and LT.
Yes, I do.
Damn.
It's our friends
So
at Hemp
rolling
Hill.
out of a Mexican joint asking for a good plumber.
I'm just
Boy.
working ahead.
I went a little overboard last night.
It was for a friend of his, but I said, it's our friends at Hemp Hill. Sometimes we talk heating, sometimes we talk cooling. But we always talk plumbing with our friends at Hemp Hill.
Yeah, trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Make sure you mention the next round. They are going to take care of you. Hard to stop a train. For more information on these guys, hemphillservices.com.
Oh, our friend Lane Kiffin. You know, I noticed this. Lane going into the Alabama game talked a lot of crap.
He generally does that.
And lost.
Well, I think he generally does that when he talks a lot of crap.
You would say the game meant something to Lane Kiffin at Auburn. He didn't talk any crap about Auburn going into that game.
He really didn't, and that was an interesting situation with, what transpired at the end of last year when all that leaked out, and you know the history. Everybody around here knows the history.
And now here we are this week with Texas A&M coming to town.
Is he talking crap?
And he's talking crap again.
Uh-huh.
Didn't work against Alabama.
Yeah.
Worked against Auburn, no crap talking. And now here he is talking crap again. Lane Kiffin with the Aggies coming to town. Listen to the little poke he makes at Jimbo Fisher.
Lane, third straight year in one of the two polls, programs hit top 10 or cracked inside the top 10. Just what does that speak to what you've been able to do, especially with setbacks during the season that y'all been able to overcome?
Well, I think that's kind of neat. I guess 3 straight years to be in the top 10, but it doesn't matter to me except for what you finish. So it's good that it brings attention to the program, and to be able to do that, especially as you're going against a program that normally you would think would be the team in the top 10 3 years in a row with their roster.
Wow.
That says a lot about our players, our coaches, our fans, but what really matters is where do you finish at the end of the year. So that's our goal, to keep getting better, keep winning games. We try to, achieve our goals and not let others achieve their goals. I think I read where Jimbo said their goal is to be bowl eligible. So if we can get in the way of that, that would be good for us too.
I mean, that's a couple shots in there.
Wow.
Did Jimbo say their goal is to be
I
bowl
don't
eligible?
remember Jimbo saying that. I think Lane might have made that quote up.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
I mean, but keep in mind, after the little deal on the stage with you and Coach Oates, when Nick Saban said that about Texas A&M, the one guy that publicly drafted with him was Lane Kiffin.
That's right. He backed up Nick Saban.
Yeah,
absolutely. And he has had no love lost.
And
for
there's
Jimbo Fisher.
And there's no way they don't get bowl eligible. I mean, they've got 5 wins and they've got Abilene Christian coming up.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that rule is, but you can still beat one non-FBS and get in.
I think
right?
you count it once every 3 years or something like that. I think
FCS is. I mean, is it an FCS team, Abilene Christian, or is it just Group of 5?
I think they're FCS.
FCS.
Yeah.
I think you can count that once every 3 years is the rule. If
Has
they haven't
Jimbo
changed
gone to
it.
that well yet?
I don't know.
All right. Our friends at Champy's bringing you this hour. LT's got trash queued up and ready to go on the other side. Champy's has your lunch and dinner already open and ready to serve hot and fresh. They cook that fried chicken to order. The sides are terrific. The service is unbelievable. Great Megan margaritas there on a weekend night as well. Good place to watch the game. It is champyschicken.com. Back in a moment.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
If renting is putting a dent in your bank account, here's your sign from the universe that it's time to buy a new home. And who better to help you through the ins and outs of home buying than our friends at Mortgage Right. With Mortgage Right, you don't have to worry about becoming a short notice mortgage expert because they do all the heavy lifting for you. They're trusted mortgage professionals and they'll help you choose the right mortgage option and stand by your side every step of the way. Visit mortgageright.com/TNR to buy before renting runs you dry. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239 Equal Housing Lender.
The Next Round Golf Cart is here. Your chance to play 4 area golf courses for just $89. Get 18 holes in cart at Limestone Springs, Cross Creek, The Meadows, and the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. A $247 value for just $89. Get your golf cart now at nextround.store.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters, it's the will to prepare to win." Bryant bankers have the dedication and experience to put together a financial game plan that's right for you. Stop by one of the 7 Central Alabama locations today or give them a call at 1-855-4-BRYANT to begin preparing for your financial future today. You'll find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about. Bryant Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
DryTech Water Restoration is a locally owned company that specializes in mold remediation, fire and water damage cleanup, and SteraMist services. DryTech's goal is to provide clients with expert guidance when dealing with any home disaster. DryTech's highly trained specialists are available 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. They will work closely with you and your insurance company to make sure the process is stress-free as possible. Call DryTech today, 205-637-0143. The moment you discover damage to your home, DryTech's team will handle the rest.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, and compression therapy all under one roof. It's our friends at Hydra Live Therapy. IV therapy treatments are packed with nutrients to increase energy, reduce stress and anxiety, and boost your immune system, and more. If you mention The Next Round at checkout, save 20% off any service. You can join the IV League today. Members are rewarded with deep discounts. Make sure you ask about that. Hydra Life Therapy open 7 days a week. Homewood, Tuscaloosa, and coming soon to Greystone.
The Next Round store is live and loaded. Check out the latest logo t-shirts and hoodies. Get your favorite team colors, the Next Round flag shirt, or grab the popular Y'all Can Have the Rest t-shirts. Go to nextround.store. That's nextround.store.
LT brings us trash every day. Trent Dilfer coming up after this. We'll talk UAB football as they get ready for FAU. Rockstar, let's do the big button, brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right. Hit it.
We just haven't. I'm really disappointed in the of course the progress that we've made. God, this show. Take this go and forget it.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
That was his contract-mandated coaches show he did that on Bobby
That's
Knight.
right. Can you imagine?
Oh, that was the golf, right?
No. That was his coach's show.
Okay.
He was so upset after a game.
I wonder if it's still available. I mean, did some of that stuff get pulled off YouTube?
I don't know. I watched the golf one this morning.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I don't know if it's on YouTube now. I watched it on
so good.
TikTok.
Hey, let our friends, the experts at Mortgage Right, help get your financial house in order. With locations in Birmingham and Leeds, Mortgage Right offers a variety of loan products, fast and free pre-approvals, and reliable hands assistance to help you take advantage of all available home buying and refinance options. Take control today. Visit Mortgage Right at their locations, Highway 280 in Birmingham, Parkway Drive in Leeds. You can apply. MortgageRight.com/TNR. Call 205-815-9200. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender. We start first. British man has been stopped from traveling overseas as his surname is deemed too rude to be written on a passport.
Oh, no.
Now, a few years ago, Kenny Kennard decided he would change his name for a laugh. He managed to get a driver's license under his new name, FU Kennard.
Oh, boy, that is hilarious, by the way.
His plan since backfired after
Did
he
you blur
informed
his
his
face?
new name.
I think I got it.
Would not be accepted on a passport. Now, F.U. Kennard changed his name in 2016, denied a new passport in 2019, and when his old one expired because his new name, quote, may cause offense. It's so stupid.
It is so
First of all, stupid on his part, stupid on their part. Now, he appealed against the HM Passport Office, their verdict 3 different times, but the Home Office has refused to budge. F.U. Kennard explained that he didn't want to change his name again, resigned himself to the fact he'd never be able to travel overseas for a holiday.
So wait, you're telling me there's no passport in the world that says Fuku, F-U-K-U?
I can't promise that there's not one. No.
Like that sounds like that would be
Well, there
Tim
was,
Tim Smith in China.
A pilot that had a problem. His name was like Holy Fook.
Yes, I believe that was,
I think,
I believe
Bang
that was
Ding
a
Ow
joke. Yes.
and We Too Low.
Yes, all those.
But Fuku
Some Ting
or
Wong was
any combination like that, there's no passport in the world that F.U. Kennard can't make it.
It's
so
it's
dumb.
on a passport. I don't understand what the problem is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's stupid,
Now,
but it's
he
on a basketball.
first changed his name to Coco Kenny when he was 16, but was forced to change it after he joined the Army at age 19 because they deemed it, quote, too immature. But after 8 years of serving his country, decided another change was required. And this is what he wanted to do. F.U. Kennard. They wouldn't let him do it.
By some people's standards, he's a veteran.
Well, I think by everyone's standards, he's a veteran.
No, I mean, he should be allowed to do this. Yes.
He should. He should call in Dabo's show and ask him about it.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know what you're talking about, brother. I just know we've won 12 games, 131 straight years here. DoorDash. I've still got to cancel this DoorDash app that I never even put on my phone, but they charge me every single month. They have added a pop-up.
What?
Yeah.
So you signed up?
I think we might have done it one time on a weekend.
So you did put it on your phone.
Well, I didn't. Somebody did. But they've added a pop-up in its app this week warning customers that orders with no tip may take longer to get delivered. This is pathetic on both sides. Now, if you enter $0 in the tip amount in the app while placing an order, an alert appears in the below warning, prompting you add a tip or continue without a tip. Now, orders with no tip might take longer to get delivered. Dashers can pick and choose which orders they want to do. Orders that take longer to be accepted by Dashers tend to result in slower delivery. The move appears to be an effort for the company to show customers that drivers are likely to prioritize more profitable work. So does this mean if I tip 40% to your 20%, they're going to pick up mine instead of yours?
And how far away from you are you? You're farther away and you got a more complex order. I don't know.
But here's the thing now. First of all, and I may be alone in this on anyone on the show or anyone in the audience, I have never used a DoorDash or Uber Eats or anything like that in my life.
My man Tyler has. He's the job man. He has too. So he's
I've never used one ever, so I don't really know who.
This football season, we've started to crank out DoorDash a little bit at the house. Both kids are back home.
My teenage daughter used to use it. I would get like the doorbell alert and I'd see the person leaving food.
It's crazy. You get like a Chick-fil-A in the morning.
Yeah.
Just for a couple of bits, like $34.
Yeah, I've never used one, but I am a little alarmed that I have to tip before the job is done. I thought tip was about the good service.
It's another one of the problems with this.
Yeah, no, that is a problem.
And they go on to say a person claiming to be a former DoorDash driver posted on Twitter that he often passed up offers where no tip was included, as those where tips had more of a guarantee for his time. He went on to say if you want to wait an extra 1 to 2 hours to get your food, then don't add an extra $1 or $2 was his advice.
I would not use it based on the fact that I got a tip on the front end. A tip is about the service.
Give me Tyler's microphone, Tyler. So are you able to see what the tip is before you choose to pick up that item to become that guy, that food delivery guy?
I see the total. Am I on?
Yeah, you are on. Yes.
I see the total amount for the delivery and the mileage, but I don't see it itemized until after the delivery. And
do you have a good feel that if I'm delivering, hamburger heaven, it's going to cost this much money, and so if it's that much money, I can see I'm probably getting a pretty juicy tip.
I mean, generally people tip 10 to 20% of whatever their delivery cost was. So.
Okay.
If it's a more expensive restaurant, I can assume that it's going to be more money.
Yeah, but here's where they bait you, too. There's so many charges in DoorDash, so you see the final charge, and people are tipping upon that.
And see, the whole tip thing...
And you shouldn't tip on DoorDash's delivery fee.
Right, and the whole tip thing, it works both ways. Like if somebody hustles, they're very friendly. Maybe I have a connection with them somehow, I'm probably going to tip them more. That's why I think the tip should be at the end.
You can still do that. People just choose not to tip after the delivery at all because they've already gotten their food.
Yeah.
Lady came to our door with her young child one night.
That was a play on you right there. Did you give in?
I threw an extra $5
of course you did.
cash to her.
We did Kid Dash.
And then you find out one even her kid.
You know what she did? She got back in the car and turned on Fancy by Reba McEntire.
Interesting here.
You got to know the lyrics for that one to make sense.
If you are a former or current server out there, when you have a table full that has a bunch of kids with it, it can be a nightmare.
Sure it can. By the way, tip more in that situation.
A Georgia restaurant is gaining national attention for charging customers a fee for bad parenting. Now, the menu at the Toccoa Riverside restaurant, about 2 hours north of Atlanta, offers a selection of dishes like steak, trout, American fare, but look a little closer and you're going to notice something else. At the bottom of the menu is an adult surcharge for customers, quote, unable to parent. followed by $3 signs. Now, according to some guests, the exact amount is apparently at the restaurant's discretion, which some say they were charged $50. Now, here are some Google reviews. One review read, quote, if you have children, absolutely avoid this place at all costs. Holy moly, the most disrespectful owner made a huge scene in front of the entire restaurant because our children were, quote, running through the restaurant. They were down by the river. We were told they needed to go to Burger King or Walmart and that we were bad parents. They had a $50 surcharge for bad children. Your kids should not be running in the restaurant.
That's right.
You don't need to go to Burger King.
Or over there by the river.
Or down by the river in Toccoa Falls.
Yeah.
Come on. That is bad parenting.
Another reviewer claims that he was charged $50 even though his children were well behaved. The owner came out, quote, told me he was adding $50 to my bill because of my kids' behavior. My kids were watching a tablet until the food arrived, ate their food. My wife took them outside. I waited to pay the bill.
By the way, I mean, if I pay the bill less $50, what's going to happen to me?
Yeah, that's the thing. If my kids were good,
that's right.
Then you're not getting your $50.
Yeah, I mean, I'll pay the bill less $50 in that situation. Walk right out the door.
This dickhead. I mean, it's an interesting, an interesting way to go about this. But he seems like the kind of guy that would take it out of his servers.
Yeah. I mean, he obviously doesn't want kids there, and he's probably going to get his way at some point. We'll see if he can stay in business without families coming to his restaurant. He may not be able to.
Toccoa River guest, the network, Silly Beans, the password.
Yeah, I'm boycotting that restaurant on that alone.
I can't believe they're not going to charge you for Wi-Fi, too.
Yeah. I mean, it's just wide open right there. Silly Beans.
They got pink lemonade. Do you guys prefer pink lemonade or regular lemonade?
You know, I'm probably more of a regular lemonade guy.
Yeah, not a lemonade guy.
I don't drink a ton of just lemonade.
I like lemonade. I just never drink it.
I mix it with tea. That's about it for me.
Brown, you're going to love this. Top 10 long movies by Ranker.com. Now, average runtime for Hollywood movies are 90 to 120 minutes long, but some movies can run over 3 hours.
Let me tell you if I've seen any of these.
You've seen some.
Okay.
You've seen the first one.
Now, these are the top 10 long movies from Ranker.com. All have a minimum runtime of 2 hours and 20 minutes, which I think is a good sweet spot. I think about 220.
About 220 for a really good movie. I'll take 220.
Yeah, a lot of these aren't going to blow you away with the length.
Like,
Number
it doesn't
10,
get long to me until you hit 3 hours. I mean, anything under 3 hours.
To me, it's not long if you still enjoy it. Like, if you don't realize how long you've been watching the movie, it's not long.
100%.
So number 10 is Saving Private Ryan. 2 hours, 41 minutes. I think every minute was well worth it.
Phenomenal movie. I wouldn't change anything, really.
Number 9, Goodfellas. 2 hours, 26 minutes. It didn't seem long enough.
Wouldn't change anything.
2:26?
Yep.
That's not long at all.
Nope.
Wouldn't change anything.
The Dark Knight, 2 hours and 32 minutes.
Is this the one with Heath
Joker.
Ledger?
Yes.
Okay, wouldn't change anything.
Yeah. Very
Why
good.
do you laugh at that? I've always got
You
to
ask every time.
Do I really?
Yeah.
Is that Gyllenhaal girl in it?
She is.
Maggie.
But it is not the one where he blows up Pittsburgh.
No, that's
Okay.
Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, I think I've only seen the part where Hines Ward's outrunning the bombs. In that one.
Morgan Freeman in this one?
He is.
Oh, Pittsburgh.
So far, so good. Now, this is where I kind of divert a little bit. Number 7, Lord of the Rings, 2 Towers, 3 hours.
Never really watched 2 Towers, 3 hours.
It's a great film.
You know, it's
Never
funny.
watched it.
We were talking to EG on the way home from trivia last night and talking about her Jeopardy skills, and she's like, anything Harry Potter, like that would be my go-to. I can get any question.
Well, so you know, my youngest Hallie and EG have become fast friends over Harry Potter. Yeah.
And Maddie said, well, my go-to is the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit. I'm like,
Lance was like,
well, I mean, some of the conversations they're getting into, I don't.
Yeah,
it's a lot of depth there.
Mm-hmm.
I love Game of Thrones, but I wouldn't know all the knowledge of Game of Thrones, and I've seen it 3 times.
At some point this summer, we're going to have to call EG out on her Jeopardy plans. Because,
we'll do something this summer.
Yeah, because I've watched her in action yesterday. Lunsford was testing her, and let's just say she's Will Levis at Kentucky right now. Maybe she'll end up being Will Levis at the Titans.
I kind of agree with Dunaway. I mean, I think she's got a lot of potential.
I mean, she's early on in this dream, I guess, and maybe one day she could reach it. But I don't even think if we played a trivia game on our Next Round Gaming channel after work, once we get out of football season.
Somebody's ears are burning.
I'm not
EG running here. We're running now. We got plenty of time. If you want to come in here.
We got Trent Dilfer on the other side, but come on in. Yeah.
Well, I agree with you. Their trivia team last night started out hot first couple of rounds, and then they completely fell apart. And there were some really easy questions last night, I thought.
Started getting questions that were past 30 years old.
We did have the Zendaya, and she agrees with me. How ridiculous is it they think Zendaya is bigger than Adele?
That is so ridiculous.
Well, I don't think it was Adele. I thought it was Cher. Was it
Yeah.
Adele or Cher?
No.
Oh.
It was Adele and Tupac.
Yeah, no, we were using Cher as the example.
Yeah.
No. You're using Adele.
Okay.
Yeah. We can go back and find the tape. So me and Dunaway both agree that there's some work to be done here.
There is work to be done for sure. I gave us a timeline, 2 years.
Oh, she's got 2 years
Gave
done
us a
away.
timeline, 2 years. And
2 years to get all the knowledge in the world.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
I would like to
I'd start
see
working.
You try.
Whoa!
Yeah,
I'd like to see you try
and it's
it,
not all
Dunaway.
the knowledge in the world. It's just having specific knowledge. Like Rosie Perez in White Men Can't Jump. I know it's a movie.
Right.
She seems stupid on the surface, but she was really good at Jeopardy.
Right. Well,
You seem smart.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I think you've got a shot at this, but as Dunaway was saying, you got to take more reps.
No, for sure. I'm not saying I don't need more reps. I need more reps. And I think it was healthy competition yesterday.
Okay.
Hey, is there anybody in the back room that can throw you a Harry Potter question that could stump you? Do you think there's any possibility?
I mean, maybe like the history of like Dumbledore.
Yeah, well, I mean, I thought everybody knew that.
Yeah.
Rockstar, the history of Dumbledore.
Anyone give me one?
I mean, anybody back there?
I'll
Well,
pull up a question
Who's
while I
got
tell
one?
you about our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing. Stay right here. Storm Restoration Roofing. If you haven't had your roof inspected in the last few years, especially after the summer storms you get, call Greg Nelson, 205-542-3531, 542-3531 for a free no-cost roof inspection. You can also look up Greg from Pell City on Facebook, A+ rated with a Better Business Bureau. Insurance companies trust him. You can't beat him. It's Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing.
Let me finish this list real quick, and then we'll get to your question. So, number 6 on the list, Schindler's List, 3 hours, 16 minutes.
Phenomenal movie.
It's a great movie, hard to watch, not one you're going to watch over and over
Tough
again.
one.
Number 5, Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, 3 hours and 48 minutes. Boy, that is long. Lord of the Rings is also number 4, Return of the King, 3 hours, 21 minutes. Forrest Gump, 2 hours, 22 minutes. The original Godfather, 2:55, and Shawshank, 2:22.
Boy, I've watched a lot of those. Yeah, a lot of those.
I think I saw one, maybe two of the Lord of the Rings. Maggie was really into that at one point. The one with the ferry, is that the longest one? That one seemed to be the longest one.
Okay,
E.G.
Ooh, name the founder of each Hogwarts house.
Yeah, the founder of each Hogwarts house, Daniel says. I'm going to have to.
Godric, Gryffindor.
Okay.
Salazar, Slytherin. Rowena, Ravenclaw. And Helena Hufflepuff.
I'll tell you, I'm going to tell you, she got those right.
I believe you.
I have no idea.
You're looking at us like we need to confirm it. I
She
ain't
got
got
it
no
right.
idea.
Ring the bell, Rockstar.
All right, I got one, but she can't hear me.
I'll pass it on to her. Make it short.
What potion allows a witch or wizard to disguise themselves as someone else?
To disguise themselves as
Polyjuice potion.
Polyjuice potion. All right, 2 for 2. Yep.
Okay. So chances you get there and it's going to be that category.
I know.
That was my point last night. I said if Alex Trebek, Bring Him Back for the Grave, and if it was like the category was Harry Potter, you would crush it.
Yeah. But what if it's 18th century literature?
You remember the super old, but on Cheers when Cliff Clavin got on Jeopardy, and it was like
I got a little trip. He was a smart guy.
The category was like zip codes from around the world. I mean, it was like everything right up his alley.
I mean, if I just go random categories.
Okay, just do it. Let's just see.
Okay, let's do this. Let's do a sports category. You're in the sports world. Okay, what former?
Don't give me sports one, because then
Okay.
it's going to be more embarrassing.
It was going to be pretty easy, I thought.
Okay, automobile parts.
Oh, geez.
Aviation. Doctors, famous hospitals.
Give me capitals.
Drugs, medicine. See, that's just it. That's why I say you
Yeah,
have
it's
to know
all
everything
over.
in the world.
I threw this out last night.
Human body diseases.
And Rockstar didn't even know this. What former car company became Nissan in 1981?
Datsun.
Heard this.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
Oh,
you
my
don't have
bad.
to show off your skills.
Oh,
You're
my
old
bad.
like me.
Yeah, no, my
It's
dad.
her dream, not
my
yours.
Bad. My bad. I thought it was for the group. I wasn't.
I was just doing some random stuff.
my
here.
my fault.
Also Hufflepuff, not Helena. Is
Uh-oh.
that Helga?
I have no idea. I gave you credit.
All right.
We'll do this. Yeah, when after football season, we'll have an hour. We'll just get in here and we'll just.
I'll play her on trivia. I'll do Jeopardy with her.
You're going to do Jeopardy trivia?
Lunsford has a whole game ready for us to go on the Next Round Gaming YouTube channel. We'll do it one afternoon. We'll get the whole staff involved.
Okay, it is Helga. I said
Uh-oh. Well, you're over one.
You said Helena?
Is that where they would go to? And Alex would go, "We're gonna take it." I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Go back.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. She's in her dream of making it to the big leagues on Jeopardy. She right now is a high rookie league ball. You got a long way.
Yeah,
to
no,
go.
you got a lot of potential. You got a good swing.
Get her cut.
You're closer to ESPN than you are Jeopardy right now.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, 100%.
It's a goal I'm setting long term.
Okay. Keep working on the broadcasting thing. Our friends at our friends at Mortgage Right bring you.
Keep working on that broadcasting thing.
It's not my dream anymore, Brown. It brings you trash every day. Tell us about Mortgage Right.
Yeah, buying home, major milestone in life, getting it right comes down to the right advice at the right time. That's why we're proud to partner with our friends at Mortgage Right who do mortgages the right way. Call them today locally, 205-815-9200 or online, mortgagerite.com/TNR.
And our friends at Hemp Hill, again, remember, right now, $69 is all it gets to get that heat checked. Some people may have turned it on last night for the first time. Get that heat checked out. Also, plumbing, air conditioning needs in the summer from our friends at Hemp Hill. They've been taking care of you for over 50 years. We'll talk to UAB coach Trent Dilfer on the other side when we come back on TNR.
Spittin' Lugs with ESPN's Tom Luganville and Lance Taylor weekly at Disrupt the Media on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, and compression therapy all under one roof. It's our friends at HydroLive. Mention Next Round at checkout. Save 20% off any service. HydroLive's got 3 locations, Homewood, Tuscaloosa, and coming soon to Greystone.
Do you need extra cash handy? Look no further than Legacy Credit Union for whatever loan your lifestyle requires. It only takes a few minutes to apply and request the amount you need to give you peace of mind. With affordable low rates and manageable payback plans, a Legacy Lifestyle loan is crafted just for you. Apply online today at legacycreditunion.com/join. Lifestyle loans from Legacy. Terms and conditions may apply. Legacy is federally insured by the NCUA.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Support the show and grab some great t-shirts and hoodies right now in the Next Round store. Buy the Alabama State Map shirts in your team's favorite colors, the popular Y'all Can Have the Rest, or Next Round flag shirts are also online now. Just go to nextround.store. That's nextround.store. The traditional Next Round logo shirts are there too. Buy them for yourself, or they make a great gift for someone else. And let us know what you'd like to see in the store coming up. Nextround.store. That's nextround.store.
No one does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Whatever your preference, we have everything from tequila cocktails and an extensive bourbon category to local craft beers and handcrafted whiskey cocktails. And don't forget about that 29-degree man-sized drafts. It's Twin Peaks at the Patton Creek Shopping Centers.
The Next Round Golf Cart is here. Your chance to play 4 area golf courses for just $89. Get 18 holes of golf and cart at Limestone Springs, Cross Creek, The Meadows, and the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. That's a value of $247 for just $89. Or get the Next Round Deluxe Golf Cart for just $119. It gets you all 4 courses with cart, plus an exclusive Next Round Golf t-shirt, koozie, golf tees, and a sticker. There are no restrictions. The cart is good through September 2024. Get your golf cart now at nextround.store.
It's homecoming week. UAB's back home. Let's get out there and pack Protective Stadium. Our friends at Legacy want to remind you they got a great deal right now where you can teach your teenagers about managing their checking account. With their Legacy Everyday Checking, 13 to 17-year-olds can sign up right now with a parent right there. No monthly fees, no minimum balance requirement, and you get paid early as well. Apply online in minutes today. LegacyCreditUnion.com/join. Legacy Credit creditunion.com/join. Federally insured by the NCUA and an official sponsor of UAB Athletics.
And their head coach is with us now. Coach Trent Dilfer joins us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. As Jim mentioned, UAB back in action as they take on FAU 2 o'clock, Protective Stadium on Saturday. Welcome in, Coach. How are you today?
Thanks for having me, guys.
We appreciate you coming on. I am going to start with an off-the-wall football question, but it does not involve your team. I am a Miami Dolphins fan for life, and I was just randomly watching Mike McDaniel videos. That's kind of free time I have. Mike McDaniel videos. He's on the sidelines talking to Tua. He's mic'd up, and he says, I couldn't sleep last night. I got up at 3 in the morning. I searched your name on YouTube, and I came across all these old videos of Trent Dilfer breaking down your high school film. I thought it was pretty cool. He was just sitting there watching you break down Tua's high school film.
I've known Mike for a long time. He's a good guy, really good football coach. For a while, there was too smart for his own good. People were intimidated by him. So it's nice that he got a chance with the Dolphins to lead an organization, and he's obviously doing a great job.
If Alabama fans take credit for Jalen Hurts, who ultimately do you think, if they stay healthy, has the better Alabama quarterback, career in the NFL, Jalen Hurts or Tua?
Man, those are two of my favorites.
And they're such different quarterbacks, obviously.
Yeah, and both are kind of at risk for injury, too. Tua's had an injury past, and Jalen gets exposed because he's such a dynamic runner. God, I don't know. They're just so different. They play the game so differently. They're in different systems, different philosophies. I don't know if you can say better. When I was at ESPN, people would always have me want to do these like top 5 lists. And I'm like, there's got to be context around it. You can't say one guy's better than the other. You have to kind of understand what they're being asked to do. I think they're two of the best players in the league. I think, Roll Tide fans should be proud of that two of their quarterbacks are two of the best players in the entire NFL.
Okay, so I'll ask you this then. As a head coach, the brotherly shove. It's been controversial. Look, I'm a Rams fan. I've seen them run it successfully. They did it 4 or 5 times against the Rams. He saw it against the Dolphins. He saw it against Tampa Bay. As a head coach, do you work on implementing, getting the right personnel, being able to execute something like that offensively? And on the other side, how do you stop that defensively?
I mean, it's a topic around all buildings. We looked at it in the offseason. We studied it. We got the rugby people to kind of coach us up on it. We felt like it was going to be, and in retrospect, I kind of wish we did it because we haven't been great at, 3rd and 4th and short. It's cost us some big things here. But it's a big investment. You have to invest heavily in it. It's not like you just go out there and do it a couple times. You got to eat up short yardage periods doing it. You have to get the right people doing it against scout teamers. So, it might be something we look at this offseason offensively. Defensively, it's a game of leverage, right? I do think teams are being more creative with, attacking it low and then a high player too. I think you got to be willing to kind of shoot your shot as the high player and fire through. There's a great high school clip. Have you seen the high school clip of the wrestler?
No.
Oh, please say you've seen this. In my 12 minutes of Instagram a day, I came across the tush push, and the middle linebacker jumps over the quarterback, does a flip, and grabs him like a wrestling move.
Wow.
Uses his momentum to flip the quarterback backwards. Wow. I wish I could tell you where to find it, but I'm sure just look up quarterback sneak inside linebacker flip or something.
Oh, wow.
But no, it's a problem. I think it's a great scheme. I wouldn't ask for it to be taken out of football. It's safe. There's nothing dangerous about it. I mean, typically we take things out of football because they're dangerous. There's nothing dangerous about this. I think the Eagles just got ahead of the game, like certain teams get ahead of the game with different schemes, and people are frustrated because they can't stop it.
First off, do you have anything to do with your gear? Because this year, every time you come on, the UAB gear you guys have this year is fantastic. That's a great short sleeve hoodie there. Are you?
I do. I love green. Don't get me wrong, but I wanted just kind of the staff look to be gray, black, white, with some green in it, with some high end quality pieces. So, we got with Under Armour, and they've been great to UAB for a long. I've been a Nike guy my entire life since '94. I mean, this is the weirdest thing for me ever. I have not worn anything but Nike since '94. I was one of their original ambassadors. Blah 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 blah. So putting on the Under Armour stuff was different for me, but Todd Locklear, our rep, was awesome, and we tried to get a bunch of quality pieces that were classy and comfortable, and we've had a lot of compliments, so thank you.
Oh, it's fantastic. That's one that's going to be in my closet pretty soon. If you want to send one over extra large.
I might do that.
Yeah, hey, your quarterback. I saw where you practiced last week. What's his status, Zeno, going into this big game for you guys at home?
Yeah, he's practiced both weeks. I think last week was to get the rust off. He was just coming back from the concussion, so he was fine mentally. But, just getting back in the flow. I think one thing people forget with concussions is your brain has to get right, but the rest of you has to get right too, because you can't do anything when you're out with them. So just adjusting to physical activity is a challenge. So it was really timely that he was able to practice last week and knock the rust off. This week has been much better. He's back to his old self. He was very sharp today at practice. So, we lean a lot on him. We've not been a great football team, but one of the better things we've done is be able to move the ball. And with Jacob's passing ability and his ability to extend plays and run it every once in a while.
Coach Trent Dilfer with us. He joins us each week on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline, courtesy of Legacy Credit Union, the official credit union of the UAB Blazers. When you talk about goal adjustment, like when you started the year, was getting bowl eligible, was that in your list of goals? Did you mention that to the team? Because now, that is still obviously a possibility.
I'm not a big goal guy.
Right.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them. I'm a dream guy and a process guy. So I've achieved my greatest things in life when I have a big dream, and then I go to work daily to work towards that dream. I don't really get caught up in the intermediate stuff. So I was trying to win every game we played, including Georgia, to be honest with you. I mean, and people think I'm crazy, but that was my mentality. Now you adjust kind of your dreams as the season goes on. Obviously, those dreams were shattered early, week 2. So then you adjust, and now we're in a position of 2-6 where I'm still very process oriented, and the team knows that. And now I do think trying to get to a bowl is a topic of conversation, but we got to win this one. There's not a lot of evidence that we're going to win 4 in a row, right? So we got to start stacking that evidence up, and that starts with week 1, or winning this one. We have gotten better. I keep saying that, but the message to the team this week has been that's got to carry over into the games, and we got to have a team, a coaching staff, all of us have to perform better when the lights are on and not just in the comforts of our legacy pavilion.
Less than a decade ago, the hottest coaching commodity out there was Tom Herman. Things didn't go exactly the way he planned in Texas. Now he's at Florida Atlantic. You guys will see him this weekend. Do you know Tom on a personal basis?
I do. I know Tom pretty well. I was actually living in Austin when he was still at Texas. He's a brilliant dude. He's one of the intellectually he is very, very gifted. In fact, I believe he's a Mensa. He has always done a great job of building staffs. He did a nice job with this one at FAU. Charlie Fry, their offense coordinator, is one of the best young minds in all of football. He's got an eye for talent. He's able to recruit well everywhere he's been. And he's got this team playing at a much higher level than they were 4 weeks ago. If you looked at them 4 weeks ago, you'd be like, okay, they're kind of like UAB. They show signs, but they're not all together on the same page. You watch them the last couple of weeks, and they're playing much better team ball. So he's done a nice job with his team. I think he's happy. I was with him at the AAC meetings, and he seemed very content and excited about this opportunity. And I think all of us that do TV for a little bit realize that it's not real football, and you want to jump back into it. So I think he's energized by this opportunity.
And everybody's different, but I think you guys are a lot alike with how you're able to develop quarterbacks. When you look, if I just said, give me the elevator pitch on a Tom Herman offense is what? When you think of a Tom Herman offense, what is it to you?
I think he wants the quarterback to be multidimensional. I do think they want to run the football. I think Tom made some mistakes in Texas that he didn't run it enough. You got to be able to run the football. And I will say this, Tom's always been creative. His coordinators himself, when he was calling plays, have always been creative and trying to, try to create explosive plays. So you're going to find a lot of different tools that get pulled out of the toolbox for them to try to create explosive plays offensively.
2:00, Protective Stadium Saturday, UAB FAU. You mentioned this about Tom Herman, Coach. It may come as a great surprise. None of the three of us are Mensa members. I didn't know if you were aware of that.
Four of us. Four of us.
All right. Well, I did not want to include you, but I know.
Not even close.
Okay.
Not even close.
I've got one friend, my friend Ben McIntyre, and it's annoying.
Yeah, he brings it up a lot. You know I'm a Mensa member.
Oh, he never brings it up, but he knows everything.
Yeah, it is. Those
you know who is? I'll give you a little side. Alex Smith.
Really?
Alex
really?
Smith.
The quarterback? The Utah quarterback?
Yeah, the one I play with the 49ers now on TV. He's a Mensa, and he is like ridiculously smart. His IQ, it was off the charts. His Wonderlic score was crazy. Spending 2 years with him was really fascinating. The guy is incredibly intelligent.
Wow, I never knew that of Alex Smith. All right, Coach, good luck against FAU. We always appreciate the time.
Thanks, you guys. Appreciate you.
All right, you too. Take care. That is Coach Trent Dilfer with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline, as always presented by Legacy.
There's only one way to know somebody's a Mensa member.
What?
If they tell you.
I don't think you carry a card. Does Benny Mac carry a card?
I don't think he does. He's never whipped it out. He just knows everything. And
but how do you know he's a Mensa member?
I was told by someone else. I was like, God, Benny Mac, smartest guy I know.
Yeah, because I know some people that seem brilliant, and I would say, based on Mensa qualifications, they probably are, but I've never heard them say that they are Mensa.
If you need extra cash handy, look no further than our friends at Legacy Credit Union. They bring you Trent Dilfer every week for whatever loan your lifestyle requires. Check them out, legacycreditunion.com/join, legacycreditunion.com/join, federally insured by the NCUA. Do you have time to show it, Rockstar, or no?
Rockstar found it. That is actually, you would have to time the heck out of this.
What a brilliant play.
But that's a pretty good way to defend this if you could ever do it. The timing's just incredible.
I think he was offside. Did they throw a flag on it?
Well, he's in the air.
He is offside.
Yeah.
He jumped it.
I don't know that you could flip Jalen Hurts. He's so strong.
No.
Yeah.
Not that guy.
No, well, that guy certainly couldn't.
Yeah. But that's hard. By the way, that's hard to do if you're at Cirque du Soleil and they're just trying to time it up to the Beatles music on skates. That's impossible to do. And he did it in a football game, even if he did jump off sides. All right. Overtime continues now. You don't have to change anything. Just stay right here. Remember to like and subscribe everywhere. Next Round on YouTube. Disrupt the Media on YouTube. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.
Jim Dunaway.
Welcome back to Respect the Process. Week 8, 9, 10.
W-E-A-K. I was like, I thought we were getting stronger.
No. But it has to be a good feeling for the coaches on Sunday night when they have their players back. No infractions, nothing that they've heard of, and they're ready to get back going for another week.
No, it is. When you don't have to worry about the check-ins and all of that, that's a starting point. But we say it somewhat in jest, but that's a sign of growth as well. It says to me, you've got your locker room in a good spot.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that your locker room's in disarray if somebody screws up, but it is a good indicator that guys are taking care of their own responsibilities after they've got a little break. Because I've heard coaches say it for years, it's one of the most fearful things they do. It's necessary. You got to let guys have a break. You need to let them go.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it is an incredibly nerve-wracking deal waiting on a call that you don't want to get.
Right.
And so if guys do manage their situation well and get back unscathed, they're locked in and they're ready to go to work.
I remember talking to coaches from smaller schools, and they specifically said that was one of the reasons they did not, if an opportunity ever came up sometimes for a bigger school, they're like, if I stay here, I know my phone doesn't ring at 2 a.m. most nights.
Yeah. I see that. Big, big money, big problems.
Yep.
Not that I've ever had any of either.
More money, more problems.
That's right.
Let's
see,
again,
where you and I grew up.
I know.
But there's a lot to that.
Yeah.
Peace of mind can't be bought. It can be rented, but it can't be bought.
That's right.
And so I absolutely understand where that mindset would come from.
Obviously, in case you haven't, we play LSU this weekend.
Heard that. I've heard that.
The Tigers are coming to town. Night game. Monday in his press conference, Coach Saban spent a lot of time listing all of the good players. So that took it took a couple minutes there because there are a lot of good players. And if we start at the very top, obviously Jaden Daniels, you know, first in the conference in terms of passing, I think fourth nationally. The Tiger offense, they rank first in scoring offense, average 47.4 points per game.
Right. He is a guy who you saw last year was talented, but I think has just settled into being one of, if not the best quarterback in the country. Best in the SEC right now with all that he's capable of doing. And I was doing a radio interview on the way over here with Jordy Hultberg from the LSU Network. And I said, you know, the old days, 5 years ago maybe, you talked about putting pressure on a quarterback. And if you do that, you've got the stop, in essence. Okay, traditional pocket guy. You pressure him, it makes it very tough for him to be effective. You've only eliminated one of three potential problems with Jaden Daniels if you put pressure on him because, all right, he's out of the pocket. Okay, now you got two big things to worry about. His ability to run on you, but also his ability to throw on the run.
Right.
Extend plays, make plays with his arm while he's on the move. It's a very tough line to walk of not allowing him to sit in the pocket and pick you apart, but also not selling out on pressure to the point that you lose contain and lose sight on him. And oh, by the way, even if he's flushed, you've got to play your assignment in the secondary. Yes, it may be easy to want to cheat up and help with run stop if you think he's going to run, but if you do, he'll throw one over your head to a guy who's going to break off his route. It's a very tough ask of any defense, but if there is one that's equipped to manage it, I really do believe it's Alabama's. I think that they've got personnel, speed, and now a little better understanding of their assignments to where they can give Daniels and LSU all they want.
Is what we see from Jaden Daniels this year, could we possibly see that from Jalen Milroe next year?
That's a great point. You know, the short answer is yes. I think Jalen, because of his strength, is even more dangerous potentially on the upside than Jaden Daniels. Because Jaden Daniels can elude you. And he can throw. Milroe can throw it. He can elude you. But he can punish you as well. I mean, he's one of the strongest guys, pound for pound, that you'll find on that roster. He is really tough, and I think as his confidence grows, you know, this is the type of thing we used to talk about. I probably mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. Another back in the day type of thing. You look at Jalen Milroe, and you're talking about what his potential is going to be. You're excited about where he is now, but you're really thinking about what the finished product's going to look like by the time he's into his junior or senior year. Nobody does that anymore, especially when you've had the quarterbacks in succession of Jalen, Tua, Mac, and Bryce.
Right.
4 starters in the National Football League. And that's what he's asked to be, but it's very tough. I think he can be there. I think he's got the tools and the skill to be every bit as dynamic as those 4 guys were. He's different, you know, from each of those 4, really different in their own way, and 5 when you count Milroe in that mix. But I think he's got a chance to be every bit as dangerous in an Alabama uniform as those other 4 guys were. People are patient, and you continue to grow and get pieces around him. You know, look, Jalen Hurts and Tua were phenomenal, and they're doing it in the National Football League.
Yeah.
But they're doing it in the NFL the way they were in college, with NFL receivers around them.
Right.
They had that available to them. Mac had that, not as many, but Mac had it. Bryce didn't have that luxury, and that's why, as good as he was, I think it's a major part of the reason Bama couldn't win at all with him as a quarterback. I don't know that Jalen has that available to him, but I think he is going to get better and better. I think we're seeing it already, and I'm excited about what Saturday looks like with him handling that, but I'm really excited to see what he's going to look like in 12 months.
And that's one thing, when they commit to come play at the University of Alabama, I think they know what they're getting into. But until they get on campus and actually get into, they don't, and maybe because they're 18 and they have a layer of naivety, ignorance, whatever you want to call it, they don't know what the comparison is actually going to be like, because they are always going to be compared to either a team of the past or a player of the past.
Yeah. I was laughing at the beginning because I was hearing Jim Mora, the famous interview. You think you know, but you don't know.
No.
And you don't until you get there, until you see it. I mean, Alvin Kamara talked about, he goes, I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, I'm this guy that ain't sitting. I'm going to come in and I'm going to play. And he goes, I look around the room and I'm going, I got no shot. I got to get out of here. And that's why he wound up in Knoxville. I mean, it was tough with the guys that he had there at that time to try to get on the field. It's why Alabama was so good, because that 1-against-1 was an NFL corner against an NFL wideout. NFL D lineman against an NFL offensive lineman. Bama's still really good. Top 10 in the country, 8th according to the first, almost said BCS, but according to the first CFP ranking. But 8th rather than clear cut. Top 3, top 4. Still think they can get there. Work to be done, but it is really, I think, a crucial time these next 2 weeks, because you've got a team in LSU that's obviously as good as they are and getting better as well. And this one will go a long way towards deciding who wins the West and represents the division in the SEC championship game. But even if you win it, you got a really dangerous game in Lexington next week, because I don't think Kentucky, head up, Alabama's better than Kentucky.
Right.
But Kentucky losing to Tennessee, who Alabama just beat by a couple of scores, if you're not mentally, let's say you do beat LSU, are you mentally focused to come back down to earth, go on the road to a place you don't go very often, where Alabama historically has been really good, and face a team that is good enough to beat you? If you play down to the level you have a couple of times this year. You throw the Texas, probably the Texas, definitely the South Florida effort out there against Kentucky. Regardless of what you do this weekend, you're walking out of there with a loss. So this is a huge game. It's a huge weekend deciding where you are going forward, but can you stay focused to do it for a couple of straight weeks before you come home to play your last regular season game with Chattanooga?
Well, I mean, it's like Saban himself has said that, the ranking means nothing if you don't win the next game.
Right.
So we'll talk a little bit about the CFP numbers that came out in just a little bit, but there is a lot of stake this weekend. There are a lot of implications. It's like you said, win this game, the road to Atlanta is a little bit more clear-cut.
Sure.
By eliminating LSU in terms of the division champion. For Jaden Daniels, a lot of eyes are going to be on him for the Heisman watch because this is the best defense he will go against.
I don't think there's any doubt. And look, Alabama's defense has enough guys on it, a bunch of them, that were a part of last year and were really disappointed they let that one go away. It was, they've avenged one in Tennessee, had to fight like crazy. I know won it obviously by a couple of scores, but had to work to get it there after looking bad in the first half. So they've got that one checked off the list. But this is another one that's always big because of what it normally means, and it means this again. But also you throw the added piece of that gummit they got us, and we had to watch them storm the field, and it kept them from going to Atlanta. So can you get that fixed and make sure that these last two conference games are ones that allow you to play from ahead rather than behind in terms of division standings?
Well, and so much for Alabama's defense, it's not even going to be stopping LSU. It's going to just be limiting them.
Exactly.
You're going to have to figure out a way to combat these numbers, because when you look at just what the wide receivers have done, Malik Neighbors, 56 receptions, 9 touchdowns, and he's number 1 in the conference. Number 2 is Brian Thomas Jr., and he has 11 TDs. And just in the top 5, they have 2 receivers. And then they have, Kyron Lacey and Mason Taylor. So many weapons.
Right.
But I think if you're going to have to lean into this game, you're going to want to lean on Alabama's defense.
You're telling me this won't be another 9-6 game like we saw in the...
I'm not saying anything.
Okay.
I've seen crazy stuff happen.
Yeah. I will place whatever wager you'd like on it not being 9-6.
Yes.
However, I don't think this is going to be last year either, where they're getting up and down the field and, it's out of whack offensively. I think this will be... I think if somebody gets to 30, they're winning it. I'm not going to be shocked if it's a 28-24, 27-21 type deal. I think you're going to see some points scored, but I don't think it's going to be just the absolute track meet that we've seen. From Alabama's perspective, I don't think you can afford that, although the LSU defense, especially the secondary, has been burned bad.
Yeah.
And if Jalen can do what he's done this year, and that's get guys behind that secondary and give him just enough time, then they could have a big day.
Well, and you look at it, it's almost a matchup of inconsistencies when you have Alabama's offense and LSU's defense.
Right.
Because I think that's really the biggest question of the game. What is going to decide this? The two strengths of the two teams? Because if you were to put LSU's offense and Alabama's defense together, give me any other team in college football, maybe even the Bears or any other.
The Bears.
But it's either going to be strength versus strength or weakness versus weakness. That's going to, I think, determine.
And this is another week. We bring it up every week. It hasn't really been as much of a factor. Or at least coming down to a final kick. But special teams big again when you've got the two that are like they are. And again, Alabama will put their specialists against any two anywhere. They've just been that good. And, again, Kool-Aid's got to get it done in the return game from a punt return standpoint. You can't afford to have any mistakes there. We've survived it a time or two, but you can't have it in a game like this.
And that is an area that we have not seen. We have not seen a touchdown return, a kickoff return for a touchdown.
Had one called back.
Okay, that's right, and a punt return for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Would we possibly see a change when it comes to any sort of special teams?
The punt return, I think there's the potential for that if there's another bad hiccup that results in a change of possession. Obviously, this is not just a show up and see what happens in a game. This is something that you've looked at in practice, you've looked at in the spring. They've gone through a lot of different live situations to determine that Kool-Aid gives them the best chance.
Yeah.
But if you get the yips, you may and I'm not saying he does, I'm just saying that that's one where you don't have to have big returns. You just can't make big mistakes. And if Kool-Aid will handle things a little better, not let up, not call a fair catch, let a punt go by, and get an additional 20-yard roll, and now it's down inside the 5. He's just got to be more sure of himself.
Yeah.
The great thing is, and especially with a guy like him, it only takes one good big play.
Right.
And he'll be completely off the charts. So every time, you're always hoping your team's going to get a big play and get a touchdown, especially. Yeah. But if he can get one, I think it could open up a lot for Alabama in the punt return game.
Year 2 for Brian Kelly. And obviously year 1 was a big win for him to be able to beat Nick Saban in Baton Rouge. And we used to say, you know, in his second year, oh, he's still playing with the former coach's guys. That's not the case anymore. And to come into Tuscaloosa and beat Alabama, that's what they hired Brian Kelly to do.
Sure. And he's done it once, and it's one more time than he'd ever done it in his career. Now, granted, not a ton of opportunities, but he'd been bludgeoned pretty good with players with Notre Dame speed. Now he's got SEC speed at a place where you can get it as fast and in as large a supply as anywhere else. You're going to get players that's why he went. Yeah. He knows he can get them. He knows he's playing a different game I say a different game from what he was playing in South Bend, but with weapons that match what he's having to battle against week in and week out, especially in matchups like this against Crimson Tide. Do you want to have a little more of your talent base and more depth to your recruiting? Yes. But at the same time, he's in a good spot, and it would be enormous for Brian Kelly if he could find a way to beat Nick Saban a second consecutive year and put LSU in the SEC championship game for a second straight year, because I can't remember where they were in the
I think like 14
ranking. Yeah. But you beat Alabama on the road, you find a way to get to Atlanta, you win the SEC title, you're going to be right there. I don't know, there's other things that would have to play out for them to get one of those top 4 slots. But for him to be in the conversation in his second year, he's in back-to-back divisional titles by beating Nick Saban in Alabama. Heck yeah, that'd be massive for him.
And we talk about what could happen for Alabama, but what could happen for Alabama if they were to lose this game? Where does that? And I know that we don't want to go to that dark place.
First of all, my therapist says I'm not supposed to talk about it.
I know. That's why I don't want anybody really. I'm just hypothetically speaking.
Yeah. You know what Coach says about hypotheticals?
It's not a rebuilding year is not acceptable.
No, it's not, and it would be another year where you go into the Iron Bowl without having a chance to go to Atlanta. That's just that's a lousy feel.
Yeah.
And, it causes you to look at things that you just don't want to look at. Will guys stay focused? Will guys stay locked in? I had no concerns about that last year.
Will guys stay?
But I had no concerns about that because I knew Bryce Young and Will Anderson were the 2 leaders on that team that were not going to let everybody else check out.
Right.
There's not that type of dynamic again. I'm not saying you don't have leaders on that team.
Or even yet.
Correct. But it's not you don't have potentially the top 2 picks in the NFL draft on your roster, 1 on each side of the ball, and 2 of the best leaders you've ever had. Okay? So that's going to be, that would make it more of a challenge than it was last year. I just think it will be so different based on the outcome. You lose, you're worried about guys staying focused, and how does everybody manage that? And I mean everybody, from fans, media, players, coaches, ticket takers, all that stuff. That's a lot at Alabama when you're used to playing for everything. You win it, and now you're set up with these, 3 regular season games to go. or you're going, okay, we got a chance to play for the whole ball of wax again. And it could be, because I believe that the SEC champion with just one loss is still going to be in your college football playoff. You know, is it Georgia? I think if, you know, Georgia somehow has a loss, which I don't think they will, but if they were to, Georgia's going to get back in.
Yeah,
if they were to win the conference. Alabama beats an undefeated Georgia, and maybe even a one-loss Georgia, but definitely an undefeated Georgia, with their only loss coming to Texas in week 2.
Yeah,
I think Alabama gets in. But if you don't take care of business Saturday, you're not going to have to worry about that conversation.
Well, and that's, you know, the first CFP rankings were out on Tuesday night. Ohio State #1. I don't think a lot of people were surprised about that. There has been a lot of talk that that's probably who is going to come out #1. Alabama #8 with Oregon and Texas, the other one-loss teams, kind of knocking on the door. Some things will happen before the end of the season, that there will still be a shakeup in the top 4. But right now, Alabama still controls their own destiny. They just have to keep winning. Sounds dumb.
No, it doesn't, but there are teams out there, and again, I don't have the list in front of me, but there are teams out there with one loss that
I should have printed that out for you. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's my fault. I should have looked at it, but I was spending Halloween talking to a quarterback club last night rather than locking in like I should have.
Oh,
but
come on.
There's got to be other one-loss teams out there that are sitting there going, doesn't matter what we do, we're not getting in. That's pretty much the case every year, and it's part of why we're going to a 12-team format. Okay, but Alabama, I just can't see as a league champion who would own a victory, presumably over a 2-time national champion in a row. Yeah, could happen, but I would find it hard to believe that the league champion with just one loss doesn't make that mix.
So last week when we were talking, you were talking about how Coach Saban, his kind of tell is if it's cold, it's like this. But, the higher the arms go up.
That's either ticked or cold.
Yeah. So the higher the arms go up. So last week on Pat McAfee's show, Pat was asking him about the Michigan cheating allegations. And his arms started down here. And the longer the discussion went on, they were like
more uncomfortable.
Because I think that this is sending a shockwave throughout the entirety of college football. And I think a lot of coaches, it's either put some on notice to either clean up their house or it's put them on notice of we need to make sure that we don't get caught.
Yeah, and you're right. I think it's twofold. I do think that a lot of it is exactly what you said. People worry in general, certainly I'm not talking about coach, but people in general look at it and they go, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Either, could we be next, or I wonder if that's going on totally unbeknownst to me.
Yeah.
Beneath my spot as the head of the organization. But I think the other part, too, is the reluctance to bash somebody else when you don't know all the facts.
Exactly.
And so you're expected, especially in this role with what he does on McAfee's show, and I don't watch it, but I've seen clips. There is a reluctance to be critical of anybody, but especially when you don't know the exact circumstances. And I think that's as much as anything where the uncomfortable look comes from him. Not necessarily, they're on to me.
No, I don't think that's it at all.
But from, I really don't want to talk about this, but this is what I'm on this show for. And he does get that. He may not be comfortable with it sometimes, but he understands.
Yeah.
That's what he's there for. So that's where it can get a little dicey, and he's going, I really wish I hadn't agreed to do this. Yeah.
The other one that came from McAfee's show last week was he asked him if he would be driving his Ferrari that day, and Coach Saban's response was, I don't know if I'm obsessive compulsive, but I only drive the Ferrari on Wednesday if it's not raining. I don't know if that makes me obsessive compulsive.
I'll put it this way. I don't drive a Ferrari on Wednesday if it's not raining or not shining.
That's a good
You
point.
won't see me driving a Ferrari regardless of the weather conditions. Not on a Wednesday or a Thursday or a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. You won't see me.
I would love to see Coach Saban drive into the building in his Ferrari, because I would like to see if he's cautious or if he's like, let's see what this thing can do.
We've seen him ride a go-kart now.
Yeah.
That was on the video, or scooter, whatever it was.
Right.
Thing that's going in circles and spin out. I mean, seen him drive, ski boat, stuff like that. He, for somebody that's accused of having no fun, he has a lot of fun.
I think he does.
I think he does too.
Okay, so you think anyone that gets over 30 this weekend?
I think.
Or both?
I think I'd be shocked if both teams are in the 30s. I
Yeah.
think the winning score. I'm not saying that the winning score even gets to 30, but I can't see more than one team getting there.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't think it's the track meet of last year. I don't think it's 9-6, but I think that high 30s, high 20s wins, because I think one team's going to be held to 24 or less.
Yeah. But a great way to go into this game, having the way they finished against Tennessee.
Yeah.
Week off to hopefully get healthy, get their minds back.
LSU's got some guys beat up.
Yeah.
So it's no sympathy for the opposition.
But Terrian will be back, right? Terrian after
I would think so.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be back after.
Little concussion.
Yeah. So he wasn't in a terrible spot, from what I understand. Held him out because of protocol.
Yeah.
In the latter part of that game, but the week off because of the bye, I think certainly helps him.
Yeah.
Hope so.
Yeah.
It's they've shown they can respond and adjust, which is great from a growth standpoint. But you're at your best when your best players are on the field,
Right.
and he's one of them. There's no doubt.
Well, we will look for you this weekend in Tuscaloosa.
Do that.
We can look, we can listen.
Mhm.
We can also find you at Chris Stewart.
ChrisStewartOnline.com. Whatever you want to say.
Stewart.
That's right. 2
Yeah.
S. ChrisStewartOnline.com, and Twitter at @CStewartSports or X at @CStewartSports, and just social media and the heck out of it.
Just look for him. But obviously, it will be a big weekend in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah,
I would
excited
imagine
about it.
big recruiting weekend as well.
Always is, and basketball starts next Monday.
Oh, gosh.
So a lot going on. Game day being in town.
Are they going
Saturday.
basketball? Do they have a good Thanksgiving trip? Are they in a good Thanksgiving tournament?
The week, yes, the week of the Iron Bowl, which is Thanksgiving week, I'm going to actually get to do the Thursday game, I believe, against Oklahoma.
Okay.
No, it's a Friday game. I'm sorry. It's down in Destin. They're
Nice.
playing at, I think it's Northwest Florida Community College. Playing in there, from what I understand, sold out or close to it. Now, not a massive arena, but a good size facility. And I think Oregon, and I've drawn a blank on who the fourth team is, but it's 4 good power conference teams that are there, and great that Bama fans can be around the holidays and go see them.
I know. I was just making sure they were giving you at least a good Thanksgiving or Christmas trip.
I might have to get down there a tad early.
Well,
have Thanksgiving
to prepare.
near the beach. Oh, sure, it's all prepped.
I know. Okay, well, we look forward to seeing you and listening to you this weekend.
Thank you much.
And we hopefully look forward to hearing a spirited
Roll Tide.
Respect the process. We will see you back next week. Chris Stewart, Kelly Hunter, take care. Bye-bye.